Gauteng tournament, and you know that Soweto has so much to contribute when it comes to South African football. But we are in Soweto and the festivities are as follows. We're going to see two teams, South African teams, going head to head to ensure that one will get the number 9 or 10th spot. These teams are none other than Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, two giant teams in the South Africa, live from your world of champions at the Nike Training Football Center. And you know, the Nike Training Football Center has 2 artificial fields, and it has hosted so many development tournaments, and it's no wonder that this tournament is also on this very grounds. Taking a look at the previous winners, last year Torino FC, the Italian side, were in the tournament for the very first time and they won. The last time that Shandong Luneng won was in 2010. So interesting to see who will walk away victorious this year after Atletico Madrid came into the tournament for the very first time. Bidvest Wits will join them playing for that final spot. So who will walk away victorious? Now, taking a look at some of the teams that have joined: Ferroviario de Maputo, Kaizer Chiefs, as well as Club Brugge from Belgium. One of the top teams in Belgium is part of this tournament. It's not only those teams, we also have 4 other teams, 2 extra South African teams, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, Torino FC, as well as the Chinese team Shandong Luneng have been playing games live on your World of Champions. Good morning and welcome to the Nike Training Football Center for the International Future Champs tournament. Don't forget that you can be a part of all the action at SuperSport TV. Use the hashtag #SSFootball. We also have matches live on our YouTube page, so you can also go there and watch all those matches live. All the tournaments that are not live on your World of Champions, you can get them on YouTube, or you can also go to www.futurechamps.net and get all the updates on what is happening on your World of Champions. I'm not alone to build up to the matches. I'm with none other than Farouk Khan. Farouk, the last day of the tournament, to date 57 goals have been scored. What do you make of this?
This has been a fantastic tournament. I think these tournaments are the ones that really launch our players. I mean, we've seen some exciting players coming across, really. And the cherry on the top, Amanda, is the fact that Bidvest in the final, yes. And who knows, they could go on to win it.
Definitely. Now, yesterday was a very it was very frustrating for most teams. Are very frustrated. I mean, you look at the game against Atletico Madrid and Orlando Pirates. What do you make of Orlando Pirates' game?
I think Orlando Pirates really stood up. They were unfortunate. It was decided by the odd goal against a team who hasn't conceded. So it shows defensively they were solid, and therefore I think Pirates shouldn't feel in any way that they haven't done well. They've done extremely well, losing out to one of the best teams in the tournament.
Definitely. Now, yesterday we had so many goals being scored on your World of Champions in the International Future Champions Gauteng tournament, and these are the results of the games that we saw yesterday. Firstly, the biggest match was Mamelodi Sundowns playing against Ferroviario de Maputo. They conceded 11 goals to no there, Farouk. Not an easy one for Ferroviario Maputo.
No, I mean, they came here. I suppose they've got a lot of youngsters. Therefore, you must understand that they're using this as an experience, and that experience will obviously make them better going forward.
Definitely. And now, the matches that everyone was looking forward to was Atletico Madrid playing against Kaizer Chiefs, and Bidvest Wits winning there against Club Brugge 2-1. But that was interesting to see Bidvest Wits making it through to the semi-finals. But live on your World of Champions, these are the matches at 1 o'clock. The big final, Atletico Madrid playing against South African side Bidvest Wits. Orlando Pirates and Club Brugge will be playing for 3rd and 4th place playoffs right there on your World of Champions. These are the top goal scorers. Spamanda Ntuli, Shungu Ditiro, both of these players are South African players. What do you think this says about, our South African style of play?
Well, we should be really flattered. I mean, that's an area we always struggle in.
Yes.
But these boys have shown that they have what it takes, and hopefully there'll be more to come. But that boy Ditiro, really outstanding player. Little bit unfortunate not to be the highest goal scorer, but all the same, I think he can be proud. Who knows? Maybe he can increase his goal tally.
And now today's encounter, Kaizer Chiefs playing against Mamelodi Sundowns. Obviously, Mamelodi Sundowns should be in high spirits, especially after their result yesterday.
No, they will be extremely ecstatic. But at the same time, you must understand that that game is over. Today's a new game, and they're playing against the mighty Amakosi. It's not going to be as easy as playing Ferroviario from Maputo.
Yeah, definitely. It is Mamelodi Sundowns playing against Kaizer Chiefs. Which of these teams will be able to get that number 1 spot? Well, Coach Godfrey Sapula as well as Coach Arthur Zwane gave us their thoughts ahead of the encounter. Coach, appreciate your time. How's the team spirit for the boys coming into the playoffs?
The spirit has been very high. especially in the qualifiers. We won all our matches. So we approached this tournament with a view of trying to possibly do well and get into the semis, possibly play the final also. But it has been disappointing in the tournament because our expectations were very high coming into this tournament. And now we're going to be playing for ninth, 10th place. And it's very disappointing because it's not a true reflection of the performance of our team in this tournament. The story of this tournament for our team is just missed chances. We created a lot of opportunities in all the first 3 matches that we played in the group stage, and we just didn't take our chances. And it's something that we need to address aggressively moving forward.
Well, thank you so much for your time and good luck against Kaizer Chiefs, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, I appreciate your time. You're playing against the local side, Mamelodi Sundowns, a team that's very familiar. How have you prepared for the playoffs?
Look, we just play our normal game. We didn't have time maybe to sort of like prepare the boys because they've been playing almost every day. So it's all up to them now. If they want to win, they will win this time. If they don't want to, but look, I don't like to put them under pressure to grind for results. The most important thing is for them to go out there and enjoy, themselves, and obviously grow at the same time, because it's all about that.
Now, Coach, coming into this game, the boys were hoping to get to the finals, but they didn't get to that. Coming into the playoffs, how have you prepared them mentally to ensure that they come into this, very well psyched up for the game?
Look, yesterday I had a chat with them, 10 minutes team talk, just to motivate them, to make them aware that it's not the end of the world. These things happen to the best teams in the world, Sometimes they play good football, but they don't win games. So I just wanted them to focus, on this game, and obviously forget about the past, because it's history. You can't change the situation. And I just said to them, tomorrow just go out there and enjoy yourselves. That's the most important thing, showcase your talent and play constructive football.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck for the game.
Thank you.
When Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs go head-to-head, it's not just about 9th and 10th place. It's also about the pride of saying we won that encounter. Correct, Farouk?
No, definitely there's rivalry here. You don't want to lose to each other. Forget about 9 and 10. That's not going to matter. They'll want to win this one.
Now, let's take a look at the predictions. Who do you think it will go to?
Well, I think it's going to be a physical game, but I would give it to Kaizer Chiefs 1-0.
1 goal to Kaizer Chiefs. Is that going to be correct? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, though, we will be going to our commentators. That's Temba Boy, who will shortly be Farouk Khan to take us through the first half of the first encounter.
Well, thank you very much, man, and a very good morning to you and the rest of the team. We're back at the Nike Center, and the curtain raiser for today's final in the Future Champs Gauteng 2016 tournament. Don't need to tell you who's playing today. It's Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. Fans, a sprinkling of some of them actually started making their way into the Nike Center in anticipation, as I said, of today's proceedings, starting with this specific local flavored clash. Those two are clearly just waiting for the game to kick off. As I did mention, just need to look around to see who's playing, to have a sense of what local rivalry is on the cards here today. As we Godfrey Sabula, the godfather, just getting himself ready for this all-important clash. As we did say, no honors really up for grabs for the two respective teams, but still, local pride, people in their living rooms, in the taverns, in the shebeens, in the sports bars. They'll be talking about who is going to be winning this game and who has won this game come the end of 60 minutes. Hey, you don't want to be on the losing side, I tell you. Could be a cold old place. As our referee for the day, Sipho Mabena. Beg your pardon, give him a basa. A man to get us underway, Sean Olive, Simukile Dali and Sipho Mahlangu, his fellow match officials, as we get underway here in the curtain raiser. Future champs Gauteng 2016, match day 5. Interesting, ready Farouk for, from a Kaizer Chiefs perspective, that man Ernest Longwane had to be subbed for Zaid Mohammed. We are told that Ernest Longwane has fallen ill, so already a bit of rejigging for Coach Zwane to consider. Nonetheless, an opportunity for the young man Zaid Mohammed to step in and do a job for the team. Interesting one to keep an eye out for. It's the number 12 for Masandawana. Pamandla Ntuli, he banged in 6 goals yesterday all by himself against the helpless Feva Mareo Maputo team. Sundowns in the attack already, trying to impose himself on this game. Was that man Promise Mkuma? Good early signs there for Rook from the man in yellow and blue.
Yeah, no, definitely Sundowns are showing their intent. They're going to play their passing game and look to probe. At the same time, Kaizer Chiefs, we know they're quick on the break, and we'll have to look out for some of their key players.
Good point you raise about Chiefs being quick in the break. In a lot of the games that they've played, they actually have not been played off the park. Some of the games that they dominated in periods, perhaps not consistently enough. And I think their biggest problem has been putting sides away. They don't really have that out-and-out goal-scoring threat. They do have the likes of Yasin Bunting, but they've not been consistent enough. But we do understand at this age level, consistency is something the coaches consistently work on. As Mamelodi Sundowns on the front foot. Nice defensive work there by Nchabulo Bloom. Now Chiefs on the attack. To Innocent Nzama, who spots around there. Fellow teammates, Bungiseni Hlengwa. Well defended in the end there.
Well, you spoke about Blom and Meiwa. I think those centre pairing are very solid.
Sundowns take it very quickly. Normal Chiefs take it very quickly. It's going to be a good battle as well for the two strikers, Hlengwa and Ntuli. Hlengwa absolutely put himself about against Athletic Madrid, but it wasn't to be. Good player he is, though.
Well, I think Ntuli will want to pick up from where he left yesterday. It's always difficult, you know, after scoring that many goals, the expectations are great. Now you come up against quite a formidable team in Kaizer Chiefs. He'll have to have his work cut out with Blom. You are solid, strong defenders. Will he be able to overcome them? We'll wait and see, Temba.
Now Zizou on the board. There's that man Zaid Mohammed is coming for Enos Longwane. Ken Zizou looking for some of his teammates. Battling away is a young man from Mondia High. Oh, nice little jink there. Fortunately, just overran the ball. Lebo Lesako, the impressive Lebo Lesako, the young man from Sebokeng. Go Valley. Ready Farouk on picking up both teams, trying to be on the front foot. Nobody really waiting and sort of trying to play on the counter-attack.
For them, Temba, this is like a final, you know. It's bragging rights. If it's Chiefs Pirates, Chiefs Sundowns, these teams don't want to lose, even at under 12 level, I'm sure. You know, so yeah, they wanna leave this tournament, and if they win, they will take this tournament as being quite a success for them, just having beaten each other.
There's a shot there from Mohammed. Can tell you now, Farouk, lose this derby, any sort of derby here in South Africa, it's a cold old place. If your team has just lost, ask the Chiefs fans, they know all about that. Having won in 4, the senior team that is.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret. You know, when I was a Chiefs, when we won the league in 2004-5, we had a fantastic run, and suddenly we lost to Pirates at Derby, and we weren't that popular after that. However, fortunately for us, we won our next couple of games, and everything was forgotten.
What would Steve Compella do for a similar storyline, Farouk? Needs all the help he can get this season if he's to salvage anything from thus far forgettable campaign.
Well, I think the break's going to do him a lot of good. He can get his thoughts around what he needs to do. I don't think Chiefs have been as bad as the results have shown.
The margins between winning and losing are also small. Inch of a bar could just see you losing a game that you've dominated. Good hustling there from that man, Sabolo Khatebe.
Well, you're going to see a lot of duels between different players. We mentioned earlier on Ntuli against the likes of Miiwa, Blom. And then on the other side, you're going to have the likes of Ntlangwa against the likes of Mbele and Ngovo, simply because they are always in each other's space.
Lovely switch of play to Bolabhe Modise. Left back, who finds Mkuma. Who opts to go back as Sundowns try now rebuild. Neat interplay. Going back to the initial catalyst of this move, Modise, who earns his team a first corner. Great play there, Farouk.
Well, you know, I was looking at his number 11 for a left back is not normally the number. Possibly was an attacker which was converted, maybe. That's why you see him with a number 11 shirt.
I always wondered how difficult it is at converting a player who's naturally a winger, or an attacking-minded player, into a fullback. Cross comes in now.
Well, the coach of the finalist, Dylan Shepherd, when he got to me, was a striker at the School of Excellence, and I opted to convert him because I didn't have a left back, and he ended up playing as a left back and a left attacker. So yeah, it does happen. I suppose if the younger the better.
The rest is history, as they say. You all know how well Dylan Shepherd had a good career he's had. Now he seems like he's going to be quite a good coach as well, as Chiefs give it away, give Downs an early chance.
Well, they almost paid the price, Temba. A bit poor defending, came in late, lackadaisically trying to allow Sundowns, and you don't allow Sundowns space. We've seen what they did yesterday. Look, their ball being played across. Fortunately, just enough pressure to put him off.
I think it was that man, Mayiwa, who is playing in central defense, predominantly more of a midfield anchor. Took a shot and did well to do well and get a shot away nonetheless. Could have perhaps worked at the keeper a bit more. The man Sandile Ngobese.
Well, I don't know if it's Ntuli that's down there. He took a bit of a knock.
Quick glimpse at the player off screen. He's on screen now. It's that man Buitumela Peko. Seems fine to continue. For a second, I think Coach Sepula was worried. Good hustling there from Nkuma. Putting Njabulo Plom under pressure. Here's another young man who's impressed me a lot, Sandile Ngobese, the Chiefs keeper, the man on the ball now. His distribution, absolutely impeccable. His shot-stopping ability as well, right up there with some of the top keepers in this tournament.
Yeah, he's shown that he can hold his own, but Chiefs have always been known to produce outstanding keepers. I mean, the list is endless.
What is it about Chiefs and keepers, Farouk?
I think they're possibly blessed in that department. You know, I can say also when the German guy came down, he did an excellent job. He's now moved on, but they're still producing good keepers.
My goodness, what a raft of talent they have in the goalkeeping stakes.
Well, you know, Reina Dinkelager was the goalkeeper coach for quite a number of years, and the likes of Rowan Fernandez, Brian Beloy, Utumalen Kune, all of these guys have really come through him, and he's really left a legacy.
And swinger there, testing the likes of Sandile Ngobese, but his defense helped him out there. They did well. Nice little shimmy from Mdluli, the skipper. Spot the run of Spimkize. Not sure what he was trying to do. Very lackadaisical in his attempt to find Ntuli, the red-hot Ntuli.
I think key Chiefs have been guilty of not keeping and maintaining possession coming out of their defense, and Sundowns look to counter them.
It's been all Sundowns in the last few moments. Momentum has been with them. when coming, especially through this left-hand side. Mamelodi Sundowns, 15-year-old from Davidton, from Kuma, number 19, have been prominent in most of their attacks. I think as well a bit of praise must go to the Chiefs as a goalkeeper coach, Rory Minard.
Oh yes, Rory's done well. He was with me for a number of years as a player, and then he came to me as a coach at Stars of Africa for a while. I'm very glad to see the progress he's made. He's a phenomenal goalkeeper coach, and I think he's got a great future.
An absolute fiery character on the pitch. Off the pitch is also quite a nice man as well. Nice to see as now his young charges, the Glamour boys, try to switch their own pressure and momentum onto the Downs defense. They haven't really been tested. Oh, but they're losing out. I think I was looking for Yassine Panting. Good battling in the middle of the park. Traffic there is quite congested. Hence, it's quite difficult to thread that ball through.
Temba, there's one area Chiefs can really improve on is their passing game. They don't seem to be able to string together at least 7 or 8 passes. They look good individually, very aggressive, but they struggle there.
Good point. You just have to look. You don't have to look as far as Athletic Madrid, probably the best passing team in this tournament. The appreciation for weight of pass. On the subject of passing now is Nobo trying to show us how it's done. And a foul, they will decide. 16-year-old from Sebokeng. As I was saying, Farouk, the Spanish really, and it's no surprise really, that's what they do, that's what they're well known for, appreciation for passing and their weight of pass. It's one thing to see the pass, but actually executing it.
No, it's one of the most important aspects of the modern game is ball possession and obviously how you defend after losing the ball. So those two moments, in possession and when you lose the ball, and clearly those are things that need to be emphasized on.
Set piece opportunity for the Glamour boys. Yassine Panting standing there with a look of intent. Ball barely got off the ground. Their second bite at it. That's a disappointing set piece there.
Yeah, they could have done so much more. They had time, you know, get the ball into the area, put the keeper under pressure. Very lackluster free kick.
I think as well, wasn't the angle just against the left footer? Perhaps why not give it to Wiseman, whip in an in-swinger?
100%, I agree with you totally. In-swinger with players coming onto it is always difficult to defend against.
Kuma absolutely surrounded there. Seat of black and gold. Now from that ensuing pressure, Chiefs are able to just nip the ball away through Nobo. Able to just play out. Ball nearly sold out. Looks like he's going to be playing on the right-hand side rather than straight through the middle. He's a versatile player I've picked up. Nice little switch to Mkuma. We're just peeled away from that man Hlengwa. His defensive ability is going to be put under the pressure if he's going to be operating in such areas. I'm sure Arthur Zwane would wanting him and far much further up the pitch.
Yeah, they constantly pressurize the wings, Temba. If you look at this player, Modisi, Kuma, they give you a lot of problems down the left. And on the opposite side, we haven't seen too much from Moliswani and Peko. But Peko is not playing on the right side. He's floating in and across. So they forward 3 players. Sundowns interchange quite often, especially the likes of Peko and Ntuli.
Clear philosophy at Towns. We do see it in the MDC team as Khatebe lines up a shot. Like he had grabbed his opponent there. As I was saying, was indicative of the MDC campaign. The interchanging of positions, the likes of Percy Tau, Kaili Shozi and Makhalwa. Could never really pick him up. It was quite difficult for defenses to sort of track them down.
Yeah, it's the movement. The movement is very key in attack. You know, if you have static players, your movement is limited. But if you have players that can interchange and run into areas where they can hurt the opposition, it's always good.
I always wondered how difficult is it to balance getting the different interchanging and movement without destabilizing the team shape.
Well, it's quite easy if you use the modern aspect of pressing. The idea is to press the opponent immediately when the ball is lost. That gives your teammates the opportunity to go into their respective positions or to be able to just get a structured attack, defense.
Oh, that was exactly in a microcosm of what Farouk just described there. The Sundowns players pressuring the Chiefs defense. And Sani Lingobese had no option but to put the ball out for a throw-in. Arthur Zwane, not an happy man. Perhaps telling his young charges to just up the intensity, up the tempo. They've yet to really come alive and go through the gears in this early kickoff. Perhaps for some of these young men, haven't woken up yet by the looks of it.
Well, I think a trademark of Kaizer Chiefs was their passing game. And I'm sure he'll be quite vociferous about the fact that they're losing the ball too often in the build-up.
Losing the ball too often in dangerous positions. Like so from Chabulo Plum, the man who shot the 16-year-old from Dobsonville. Was that Bengu? And then swinging up. Sundowns have had a few of those corners, but yet to make any of them count. Can they make this one count? Answers no. Chiefs are able to clear their lines. Danzo still have the possession. And as I say that, I put the markers on them as Chiefs tried mount a counter from Khatebe to Lisako.
Yeah, a little bit sad winning possession and then just handing it back to Sundowns. I think they need to be a bit more composed, keep the ball longer in midfield and play it forward at the appropriate moment.
I think we were mentioning a bit earlier that this game, not much to play for in terms of honors. The bragging rights are on the line. Judging by the first few minutes of this first half, two teams really haven't had that fight, that inner, that burning desire to show their best and to put the best foot forward. Thus far, Sundowns though have been slightly better than Kaizer Chiefs, but no team in the opening 16 minutes has really produced out-and-out quality. Looking to produce out-and-out qualities. Malebo Modisa, the left back, has been able to foray into the attacking third for Chiefs several occasions. Farouk.
Yeah, he's an exciting player, really. I enjoy watching a fullback that can attack the way he does. Also, he's able to defend very well when he gets back. But as you rightly pointed out, I think Sundowns have been on the ascendancy, and I think both teams are not really opening that much. It looks like there's some anxiety.
Oh, we love an attacking fullback here in South Africa. Another opportunity at a throw-in.
Well, if you remember the, sorry Temba, you remember the likes of Sizwe, Mataung, Wellington Mnyati, I mean, sure, you know, David Mnyati. These were players that really, you can't forget about their contribution. It was really fantastic. Iwi Kambule. These were players we'll never forget.
Those are some of those names, the benchmarks of some of success that Bafana had, the likes of Mutaung. Seem to never run out of batteries, looking to punish Downs for that mistake. Was Yasin Bunting. There were two players there, Innocent Nzam and Bunting. Lelani Kubeka made himself big and saved that one, Farouk.
Yeah, it was a gift. You know, clearly the Sundowns player was guilty of giving the ball away. Bunting should have done better. Here you see he wins the ball. He pickpockets the defender there. But unfortunately, keeper did so well, coming off his line, Kubeka, making himself as big as possible and stopping a certain goal chance.
Most of the pressure on the goalies has come from defensive mistakes in this game. We've seen it. The Kaizer Chiefs defense putting themselves under pressure. In that instance, it was Mdluli who lost out. He got pickpocketed, as Farouk said. Yasin Bunting, the 16-year-old, couldn't make it count. Actually fell on his favorite foot, his left foot. Perhaps could have opened his body up a bit more. But let's give credit where credit's due. Kulelan Kubeka coming up with the goods. Chiefs now trying to put on their own bit of pressure, and as a result, the ball gets to Bengu. Nice little play, Shengwa. If we give him a Mabasa says that's a foul. foul there. We've given Mabasa set. That's illegal. Chiefs now continue to try build from the back. There's a young man who just moved the ball on. Wiseman Mayi with the number 8. What a prodigious talent in the midfield of the park. Nice little turn there from that man, Zaid Mohammed, but pickpocketed. There's been a lot of loose possession in this game, Farouk.
Yeah, for a moment there I was quite impressed with the build-up, and then again Zaid running with the ball instead of passing it, and then they back defending.
Now, yellow shirts just running from all angles. Again, a loose pass. Sees the move break down. Oh, nice piece of skill on the chest, on the turn, all in one move, and a pass to match it as well. Innocent Nzama, can he add on to that piece of quality? Tries to burst past this man, Mbele. Wall over yellow and blue there. Meets the Kaizer Chiefs attack. Hlengwa now. Ungaseni Hlengwa, one-on-one with this man. Against Pele. Pele is not an easy man to get past. Melissa Pele, the 16-year-old from Durban. Number 3 for Sundowns. He's a good defender.
Solid defender, but this Chiefs team have some good talent. We saw Tlengwa there, we saw the likes of Khadebe. These are dynamic players. What they're struggling is getting that passing pattern going.
Good spot, Farouk. They do have a lot of individual talent. As a ball comes in, looked like it was heading into the top corner, but the trajectory of the ball, so it spin back. Hit Innocent Nzama. I'm not sure how much he knew of that one. It's Khadebe tries to take a shot. You did mention they have a lot of great individual talent, but as you mentioned, just putting it all together, having that end product, often it lets them down.
Yeah, it's about decision making, Temba. In football, it's about when, where, and how. And I think if you can answer that in a football sense, when to hold the ball, where to hold the ball, how to hold the ball, when to shoot, where to shoot, how to shoot. If you can answer that, because most of the time, the breakdown in possession is the when, where, and how.
Now that man again, Mulaweka Mudisa, how often have we seen him busting a gut to get forward? He's a clear attacking focal point for Masandawana. He puts in a good-looking ball. Dooley was rooted there. I think the ball just missed him. There's that man, Dooley, fresh off a 6-goal scoring spree against the club from Maputo. They haven't really created a lot of opportunities for a man who banged in so much. Should be disappointed by that.
Yeah, I think it's an area where you can improve on. I mean, you want players who can bury their chances, but I think it's still very, very possible. Because of their ages, 16 years old, it means they have some time on their hands. But again, it needs to be done as soon as possible, because before you know it, they have to be ready for senior competition.
Good point to raise. Look at the Chiefs starting lineup. About 8 players who are 16 years old, under 17. Downs have a few 15-year-olds of their own.
Yeah, that's why it's so encouraging to see these young players. All they need is guidance, proper guidance, and yeah, they can achieve their dreams. Talent on its own is not enough. It's how you nurture the talent. It's like having a diamond and how you cut and polish that diamond. Otherwise, it just remains a raw diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, Farouk Khan, motivational speaker as well. The Chiefs fan there in the background, can hear them just trying to inspire the young Chargers. As we said, it's been a disappointing campaign. 2015-2016 has been unforgettable for the Glamour boys. MDC, they weren't anywhere near the trophy. Oh, nearly a mistake from Bengu. The man was looking Buitumelo Peko. An under 17 tournament that we're witnessing now. They're playing in the 9th place playoff, but in the league, it's 4th position for them.
Well, you know, your youth is an indication of your future. You know, like the great Madiba said, the future lies in the hands of the youth. And if you have a good youth program and a youth structure, then, you know, I'm just thinking about Modise as a player, and I'm already thinking in my mind, this could be the next left fullback for Mamelodi Sundowns.
Definitely looks a talent. He's been one of the sparks in this first half. Hasn't been much quality. It's been a lot of running and industry, but not enough enterprise.
If you look at him, he's very matured. He knows when, where, and how. There he made a one-touch pass, opened up, got into space, got into a good area, moved forward. Now when they lose the ball, he tracks back. So, yeah, definitely.
Now Ngobo on the front foot now. Ngobo shaping for a shot. I think he was undecided what to do there.
Decision making. Shoot when you're in that area. Don't hesitate. You know, we just mentioned it now, and there you see him making a key error. He's two minds, and when you're in two minds, you end up making the wrong decision.
And in the balance of play, possession is even. Well, another game. The club from Maputo. Are they gonna leave this tournament on a high? They just scored against Mpumalanga Black Aces in the other game. Wish we could get a few goals in this game just to liven it up with 5 minutes or so remaining off the first half of this local derby. Normally these derbies are full of spice, full of intensity. This one has sort of just been lukewarm.
Possibly leaving the best for the second half. They had a few half chances. The coaches will obviously have to talk to them the second half and say, look guys, we've gone through the first half, nerves are now settled. Now go out and do the business.
Seen Bunting there, seemed a bit isolated. Tried to pass it on to a fellow player, but there was no one next to him. Nice little piece of skill to nutmeg the player. Getting Ngobo, looking for options. Nice little enterprising play from the Chiefs players. Innocent Nzama. There's that man you spoke about, Modise, that time showing the other side of his game.
Solid player. Very intelligent. And that is very important in playing top level.
Cross in for that man, Mohammed. Shot in. Easily read there. Kulelani Kubeka. Now 4 minutes or so of, just under 4 minutes I should say, of play remaining, and Masandawana are still battling to put Chiefs away, and vice versa. Perhaps, as Farouk alluded to, both teams saving their best for the second half. As Downs come down the front foot, tried to land that first jab in the first half and get that first goal. Given Mabasa pulls it back there. Then one of the Downs players was being pulled. That man Buitumelo Peko. There was that opportunity there for Farouk.
Yeah, but I think the referee had adjudged an offside there, and you know, they've created that half chances as we said, but we still have to see a clear-cut chance. I don't think the keepers have really been tested in this half.
It's been a clean game thus far. As an in-swinger comes in, I think that just epitomizes what we've been speaking of. Just that bit of quality that is necessary to put your opponent on the rack. Nahengwa now looks like a busy player, skillful player. Likes to burst forward and run with the ball now. Let's give it to Lebu Lesako, the man from Sibukeng. Can he fashion out a chance? He can, but got the angles all wrong.
Yeah, the angles and also the quality of the shot. You know, he hasn't gotten much on it. It hasn't had that venom to test the likes of Kubeka.
Now here comes Mkuma, cuts inside, is forced inside. As Towns now trying to build from the back again. Oh, good looking pass. The Chiefs defense was wise to that.
Well, two players have impressed me from Kaizer Chiefs. That's Khadebe and Tlengwa. And then obviously for me, Modisi, unbelievable, as well as the captain, Luli, on the side of Sundowns. So yeah, you know, if you're a talent scout, you'll definitely look at these players and say, with their ages, they have what it takes.
Farouk, hypothetically speaking, if you were a scout and you had a similar tournament like this, what do you look for in players of this age? Like says that we'll get back to their point as Modise just passes it on. What do you look for in players of this age, 15, 16, 17-year-olds?
Firstly, you look for speed, because speed is a very important aspect of the modern game, but just not speed of playing, speed of thinking, decision making. You look for personality, you look at how they deal with situations. Then you look for their intelligence, and then you look at the technique. And this is a criteria that your great teams like Ajax of Amsterdam used to use. It's called SPIT, speed, personality, intelligence, technique. And what they do is when they bring the player in, they turn the word around to tips. Now they work on technique, intelligence, personality, and speed. The simple reason why speed is hereditary. You either have it or you don't, whether it's action speed or whether it's decision-making speed. So those are important things, because sometimes you have a phenomenal player, but he lacks in speed. And he won't survive against the quicker boys, especially at the highest level.
Well, some teams use that counter. We've seen Downs, the senior team, CBD destroying teams on the counter, the likes of Castro and Biliat and Dolly.
Yeah, it's the speed factor. If you look at Barcelona, you look at Neymar, you look at Messi, and you look at the man who bites people.
So bite a lot. Another interesting team I often like watching. I think they've pretty much perfected the counter-attack. Our Borussia Dortmund of Germany. We'll speak more about these points as given Mabasa calls it quits in the first half. It's been a half that's been lukewarm. Normally these derbies are spicy affairs. The likes of Wiseman Meyiwa, that man in shot. Pamandla Ntuli, he'll be aggrieved that he hasn't got any chances. Somebody who did have chances was that man Yasin Bunting, number 9 from Chiefs. But it's been a game of a little spark. The likes of Moloko Modise have been the man to bring this game to life. Said Mohammed has tried his best, but at halftime both teams still feeling each other out. Mamelodi Sundowns, nope. Kaizer Chiefs, nope.
The score definitely does not reflect the type of game that we have seen in the first half. It has been sparked with a lot of great gameplay, but don't forget that you can be a part of all the action at SuperSport TV. Use the hashtag SS of football. Still international future champions, the Gauteng tournament 2016. After this, we take a look at the first 30 minutes of the encounter.
Back at Nike Center at the halftime break, it's Mamelodi Sundowns. Nope, still finding it very difficult to break down the Chiefs' defense. They have also, vice versa, not found it too easy to find that all-important goal. The bright spots in the first half were half chances, truth be told. Man, Ntuli, so one chance we really did get a sniff at, laying the ball over. It was over to his skipper Mdluli. Also rushing over to have a snapshot, but ball closed off there by Wiseman Mayiwa. Well, for the Clemmer boys, a mistake from Mdluli, who almost turned into villain as Yasin Bunting jumped in and got that ball and showed his clean pair of heels, but fortunately couldn't open up his body enough and get the necessary angle. Credit must be given to Kulelani Kubeka, the Downs keeper, becoming big. Right, in terms of a stats perspective, I think a worrying stat is that shots on target, Mamelodi Sundowns have not had any, while the possession stakes have been quite even. Midfield, a key battle to win any game. On the left-hand side, Moloweke Modisa for Downs has been crucial. Downs have created more attacks, 10 more attacks than Kaizer Chiefs. They're going to be looking for the likes of Klengwa to spark into life for KCS Mailuela, Pito Tlolecha, are names that pop out, the two Dlaminis and Hlongwane, perhaps to come off the bench. And
we are still at the Nike Training Football Center. Joining me now is the convener of referees for this tournament, Mr. Ben Shajwayo. Mr. Ben, we've seen referees, in the different games. How has the experience been for them, reffing international players?
Remember, this is young referees. They need to be developed. So to ref in this tournament is a high profile for them.
Oh, thank you so much. That is Mr. Ben Shajwayo saying it's young referees and it's all about developing them and ensuring that they are able to get to the highest standard. But right now, though, it's time for us to go to a breather. When we return, we take a look at the second half of Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs.
back at Nike Center from the halftime break. Mamelodi Sundowns going hammer and tongs with Kaizer Chiefs. They've yet to find really that difference maker, that X factor. Those are some of the Amakosi faithful looking on. Fans have been able to come through here at the Nike Center, as they've done throughout proceedings here. You know, Godfrey Sepula has changed things a bit. Witumela Peko, the right winger, was hauled off, replaced by Kotleho Pito, the number 9. Whilst Pim Kaizer was replaced by Tony Zwane at the halftime break. As referee Kevin Mabasa just waits to get us off, and we're away in the second half again. Masandawana attacking from right to left, while Chiefs attacking from left to right. And of course, I'm not alone. I am joined by Farouk Khan here in the commentary booth. Had quite interesting chats in the first half as Wiseman Niwiwa passes it on, but the Downs players putting early pressure on. We did mention, Farouk, how the first half really failed to live up to its billing. Perhaps the second half, the coaches got stuck into their young guns and ensure that they find something different in the second half.
Well, clearly, lots of these boys are going through puberty, and you know, they are very unpredictable. There's times when they just spark, and there's times when they go through a bit of a slump. Hopefully, in the second half, we'll see a lot more goal-scoring chances. I think in the first half there was some good possession, there was some good duels, but it lacked that killer instinct up in the attacking third.
As Mayiwa, they're being put under pressure by the man who just come on, fresh legs off Kotleho Pito. He's a good player as well, a busy player. Wiseman Mayiwa, the skipper, 16-year-old from Peter Marisberg. Another one from the future. Has such a good shoulder on his hands, understands the game so well, good physical presence as well. Imagine the sort of player he would be once he fills up and he grows up and he understands the game a bit better. His passing ability outstanding as well. Here's the Chiefs skipper. The Chiefs looking to be on the front foot. Leaves the ball behind as that man Lebo Lisako. While in the other game, just continuing in the other pitch, it is the team from Maputo are still ahead against Mpumalanga Black Aces. Men from Maputo looking to cling on perhaps for their first win of the tournament. Condemn Mpumalanga Black Aces to a forgettable tournament for them. Nonetheless, it's still a learning curve for a lot of these youngsters. I think that is the key focus in the future champs Gauteng 2016 and beyond. And that man, Notangoba, going back to Kulilani Kubeka. He's been put under pressure by Chiefs players. Ngoba now showing calmness. And does well to find a man and alleviate that pressure. As a result of that pass, now Downs are able to be on the front foot. There was Pito, they swung a foot at it. But Ngoba though battles away to try to keep possession for his team. Looking for that man, Lebo Lisako. Khatebe there, judged to have fouled his man, Bibo. Number 10 for Chiefs.
Well, Sundowns are spreading their game much more. They're playing a little bit deeper and then playing off the second ball. In this first half, it was a bit different.
Oh, Farouk de Pengu, as a result of him being beaten, they were able to put a decent-looking ball there with the man from Mamelodi. In the back stick was that man, Pito, who was lurking.
There was a golden opportunity there. Had there been players in the right position, I'm very certain Sundowns would have been a goal to the good.
Oh, that air shot from one of the Chiefs defenders there. Tried to boot the ball out, but missed that one. And as a result, it almost just fortuitously got to one of the Downs players, and that could have been the first of the game. Downs now just looking for midfield options. Spots around out wide. Looking for Thabiso Mulisani. Great recovery tackle. This man Jabulisa Mkhize. Now, Afazwane is about to make a change of his own. Zaid Mohammed is to be replaced. Lebogang Malema. Another impressive one is Malema. Interestingly, I see Malema's taking a midfield position where we've normally seen him in such areas. Out here on the left, a step over here from Lisako. Tried to create that angle for himself, but couldn't wrap his foot around it there, Farouk, in the end.
Yeah, good intention there. At least he took the opportunity to give it a go. And if he does it more often, the quality will improve. But the main thing is that he's got a good left foot there. Just needs to work on the accuracy.
Saying that man, Lebo Malema, who just replaced Zaid Mohammed. Seen him for most of this tournament really playing on the left-hand side as a left back. He seems to have just gone infield. Oh, nice piece of skill, Yasin Banting. Referee says that is not a foul. Get up, young man. Let's play on. Let's label Lisako. Chiefs now trying these neat little triangles, but Downs will not let them prosper. Beats of that man battling over. Here's the young man who just came on off the bench. I think it's clear to see that the tempo has been upped in this one in the second half. Farouk, players hustling and bustling a bit more.
Well, there's been a lot of movement. There's been a lot. Here we see another opportunity coming up.
Oh, cross in, edge of the box, and truly had time to look up and just place it wherever he wanted, really.
Yeah, he had space and time. If he looks back there and he sees this on the replay, he'll realize he had more time than he thought he had.
Couldn't even have taken a touch and looked up. Now Chiefs on the front foot with Lisako. Going toe-to-toe with Thabo Moleisane. Chiefs earn themselves a corner. Cross comes in now. Baba Kubeka. Nice little turn from Pito. Showed little glimpses into this game. Julie again, good space. Did well to get in between the Chiefs defense and work an angle for himself, but I think wasn't able to just turn around and have a shot. It was a speculative looking one.
If you look at the overall play thus far, you'll see that a lot of exciting individual actions. It's just in that last third where I think they need to really concentrate on the finishing.
In the meantime, I think Chiefs are to throw in the second sub of the game. That man, Zamani Mwandla, about to come on for Innocent Nzama.
You can see these are young players, very young. You look at the substitute that was just made now by Kaizer Chiefs. You look at Mwandla, very young player, very small in stature.
I think it's Arthur Zwane, they're just giving the whole squad a taste of the tournament. Some of these names, like the likes of Mwandla and Mohammed, he recently just started playing. I think he's just giving the young lads a taste of this tournament and perhaps giving them something to look forward to. Nice little spot there. Wow, that touch let down Pito. Otherwise he was in, Farouk. Again, what you mentioned earlier, the final third is a problem.
Yeah, definitely. He should have had a better touch. I don't know why his touch was so heavy, and that would have been on goal. So yeah, Pizzo needs to work on it. These are developmental things the coaches are going to take a note of. You mentioned the importance of giving everybody a chance. Can you imagine coming to a one-week tournament and not getting a chance to play? For the likes of Mohammed and the other boys that were brought in, I think they'll have fond memories.
Oh, just actually looking up, Mwandla looks like he's still in primary by the looks of it. What a small little man. I'm sure big on heart. Just going back to that Pizzo chance, Farouk. What shocked me is that the ball came from the right-hand side. Why not trap it with your left and give yourself an angle to use your right?
Spoken like a future coach. It's actually a coaching point. What you're saying is very true. Even at the highest level, we see players forgetting that when you receive the ball from the right, control it with your left, away from the opponent. Open body position, very, very important. Had he opened his body, he either had a chance to take a first-time shot or close the ball, wrong foot the opponent and finish with the opposite foot. But clearly he had already scored before the ball came to him.
Perhaps he was guilty of that one. Nonetheless, we continue. Mamelodi Sundowns still haven't found the back of the net. Neither have Chiefs. There has been signs of life in the second half. Half chances again. Another second half falling to the likes of Pizzo and Mdluli. The best stuff of the second half as Bunting is well spotted and shows his pace, but ran out of pitch in the end and easily dispossessed by the impressive Mnelisi Mbele, the number 3 for Downs. So it looks like Sipamandla Ntuli has been moved to the right-hand side. Loses out now up against Lesako. Gives it to Ngobo. Ngobo looking to play a 1-2 with Khatebe. Nearly gets it back. Downs clear the lines up. Awkward fall from Mdluli. See, I think Mdluli should be able to continue. It doesn't look like a serious injury, just an awkward fall there.
Well, the referee has decided to give him a yellow card, Temba.
It's a bit harsh there, in my opinion. The player just had eyes on the ball, the man. Kosimpile Ngobo, 16-year-old midfielder. Can we feel a bit, perhaps, aggrieved at that decision?
Well, you know, you don't want to take away the aggression of young players. So I think at times, if it's not a tackle that requires a yellow card, referee should be a bit more understanding and just give the young man a warning. Yeah, you see the ball. I mean, I can't understand what the yellow card is for. I mean, sure, it looks like the guy just lost balance there.
Questionable at best there from a referee, Kevin Mabasa. That man included the 16-year-old from Tembisa. Seems like he'll be ready to come back shortly. Foul sets up there. So they mentioned from that ensuing free kick that was given against Kaizer Chiefs. It's been a clean game nonetheless. So they mentioned Farouk. Don't want to be taking out that aggression from the youngsters. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe that yellow card has set down a marker for some of the players that don't really have to do much to get a yellow card in this one.
Yeah, the other thing is with Sundowns now, they're opting to play much longer, but I think a long pass is preceded by a short pass. So in other words, to accommodate triangulation, you play it short and then you look at your second or third pass to be a long pass. But they're just playing their first pass long and it hasn't seemed to work for them.
You're right, it hasn't worked for them thus far. So man's Pamandla Ntuli is fouled.
Well, the way things stand, it looks like they could get something from this game, Sundowns, because the Chiefs' defense have been guilty of some poor defending at times, loss of concentration. But I still think they can have an opportunity to put one over Sundowns, just on the counter-attack.
Free kick opportunity from Zulu, who's about to be replaced. Finds a good looking ball, back post. That was a good jump. I think the referee has just pointed to the spot there, given Mabasa. I think you just sensed there was something happening there, Farouk. You called it.
Yeah, but
and
you know,
a yellow card there.
I don't understand. I don't understand, Temba. Sorry to cut you there. I don't understand. Really, I didn't see anything in that penalty. Let's look at the slow-mo to see what went wrong there. How was it possible that the referee immediately pointed to the spot? Yeah, the free kick comes in. It's quite high up into the air. Ball is played back in. I can't see anything there. I can't see anything there that... What was
Wow. That was another questionable one.
I mean, there was a very questionable decision, really.
That's another questionable one. Referee given Mabasa, and Succession has had a few debatable. And Sundowns from that ensuing penalty, find the back of the net and finish it off with a dab at that. I was about to say another questionable decision there from the referee. Nonetheless, Mamelodi Sundowns won't care. They profit from it as Sandile Ngobese is beaten.
Well, the Sundowns players here, you see, well taken penalty in the corner, left the keeper there with absolutely no chance. But in saying that, even from the celebrations from Sundowns, they didn't look like they enjoyed that goal.
Yeah. Sundowns making double sub, Thabo Moloisane, the right back. Is also to be replaced. The man has just come on, Zaba Ngumalo from Mdluli. Well, Kanyile Ndlendle still awaits to come on the pitch, the number 7, Bomasandawana. Now find themselves leading in this game, somehow, some would say rather fortuitously. Given Mabasa just gave a spot kick against them. The man replaced, yes, Spamandla Ntuli. He's had his race. As Likanyele Ndlendle comes on.
Well, at least Temba with a score now at 1-0. We'll see Kaizer Chiefs now going on an all-out attack to get that important equalizer.
Really, Farouk, I'm still just baffled by that decision from referee Given Mabasa. Especially this comes off the back of that yellow he issued against Nkosi Ngobo.
Yeah, it makes one think, what was the foul for? I mean, both players were jumping, and I think, again, there was no contact.
And from that foul that he gave against Ngobo, wants to get worse for Chiefs as he gave away a spot kick against Wiseman Mayiwa, the skipper, giving him a yellow in the process as well. Well, Chiefs about to make their sub.
Substitution, Kaizer Chiefs.
That man, Malema. As the Kaba comes on for Bunting. In the meantime, now can Chiefs just find a way back in this game? I just hope for the young Chiefs lads that they don't drop their heads after that decision.
Well, I hope they don't, and we don't want to discuss referees in a negative way, but clearly for everybody that witnessed that, there will be a question mark around that particular penalty.
Shot coming in now. Looked like it was traveling. But Sandile Ngobese and the Chiefs, Sticks wasn't troubled in that instance. But it's strange, Farouk, it's like you sensed it. Sundowns were just building up momentum. They looked the more likely of the two teams to find the breakthrough, and they did. Another one I'm interested to see is how the subs are going to impact the rhythm of this game. A lot of subs, a raft of subs, as the Sako first touch shows his pace. And it's all ushered there
That was a brilliant touch there from Lesako. Unbelievable how he kept it in the run. Looks like an exciting player.
Absolutely tortured. Athletic Madrid, left-hand side, or right there, right-hand side. Great burst of pace. I think he's an ideal player for a counter-attacking type style. He's also quite good with the ball at his feet in terms of possessional game. Good talent is the 16-year-old from Sebokeng, Lebo Lesako, number 17 for Chiefs. Ten minutes left of this game. Can Lebo Lesako step up and deliver a ball of quality or have a shot at target to get Chiefs back in this game somehow? Really haven't created too many clear-cut chances for any of their attackers. Hence you find the likes of Yassine Bunting and Mohammed having been hauled off. And it's moments like that that have let them down too often in this game. Drops his head there in disappointment.
Yeah, no, I think if you look at that free kick, really wasted. We spoke about decision making. These boys need to know that you can't waste opportunities like that.
Now Khatebe now spots that man, Mwandla, diminutive Mwandla, looks up, slows it down, looks to pull off a skill or two.
Well, really a wasted opportunity there. Mandla should have brought that ball in earlier. For whatever reason, he stopped, he did a shimmy, then ran in an offside position. That's something that needs to be corrected. You know, your idea of a wide attacker is to get the service to your strikers, not to dribble him twice. Just dribble him once or half a time, half a dribble, cross, goal.
I hear you, coach, I hear you. Second half, Kaizer Chiefs have had the better of the possession stakes, but not the better in the scoring stakes. Thabo Moloisane finding the back of the net through a debatable penalty decision as Sundowns try to find a second. That instance there was a foul against Mamelodi Sundowns. It was Bengu. It was Mayiwex, in fact, just throwing himself at that one, taking out Bengu in the process.
More of a collision than anything else.
Oh, nice play there, all around, starting from Mayiwa. A nice little layoff from Hlengwa. We haven't really mentioned Hlengwa, the number 7 for Chiefs, that much in the second half. Chiefs now losing out, and Sundowns on the front foot.
Well, this has been a story of Sundowns winning possession in good situations or good areas, building up, and then that final third, they don't seem to be able to get the ball on target.
I think Promise Mkum on the left-hand side has done well to nip the ball on a few occasions and get Sundowns up the field. And you mentioned the ideal winger is getting service in the box. Can Lesako find a service, a connection with a teammate? Finds him Mwandla. Mwandla looks too eager though. Oh, there's an opportunity for Hlengwa. Offside.
At moments, you'd allow a player to run with the ball, but when there's a passing option, release the ball. You only run with the ball when there's no option for you available.
Remember the old adage when I was still playing football a long, long time ago, said let the ball do the work for you.
You got me worried, Temba. You said long, long, long ago. Was it like in the 70s, 80s? Your age doesn't show that. I mean, your looks don't show you that old, but when you say long, long ago, I get worried.
Thank you very much on that. Looks comment for it's not that long ago.
I think it's important to realize that nobody runs faster than the ball. So if you pass the ball very quickly, the opposition will have less chance of dispossessing you.
The subject of dispossession, Sandile Ngobo He's not trying to get dispossessed, and he had a shot opportunity. Just have been offside as that man Nesako.
Yeah, you look at Novo there, really a nice player to look at, very active, very lively, but again, comes back to that final shot. Really poorly executed, hitting it into the ground, hitting it into the opponent. Instead, create some space for your shot and then take the shot.
Nesako was a better option in my humble opinion. If you just looked up to the left-hand side, he was in space. Pass it to him and create an option for him perhaps to cross it back. As Farouk said, the best wingers are able to provide that service, a good ball in that tests the defense.
You look at Dane Clayt, you look at even the coach here of the Wits team, the Bidwest team, Dylan Shepherd, they used to get balls in early. The earlier you get in balls, the better it is because you have strikers running onto it. The longer you take.
Oh, an opportunity there for the man in yellow, Mbele, chesting it. Bit of collision there with the keeper.
Do you think it would have been better for him to head the ball?
He tried to chest that because he could have just bent down a little bit and put a bit of power in it and tested. Gobese opted for a strange one instead, opted to chest it. Not going to score too many with those kind of finishes. That's how Wiseman Mayiwa got taken out there. The chief skipper has been in the wars. It's a player you often see by the end of the game. Cut here, cut there. Oh, he's just willing to throw his body. Put his body on the line, should I say. Waste.
Wasted free kick again. We saw Kaizer Chiefs there missing one earlier. Now we have Sundowns also making that mistake of not keeping the ball on target.
I think, Farouk, what we're seeing here has been symptomatic of both teams' campaign. A lot of industry, a lot of running, as you said. But in the final third, when it really counts, that it's been lacking throughout, and it's been a consistent theme for both teams. Hence, they find themselves playing in the 9th place playoff and not in the final. Ball of quality. For once, well defended by the defender, Kuma now. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there.
Well, the referee had a good layoff there. I mean, he laid it into the Sundowns player's path. So he forgot for a moment that he's the ref.
Just under 3 minutes left of the second half. And as the Chiefs have been battling away and trying to find a goal back in this game, Mamelodi Sundowns have stood strong. But we have to admit, though, that both teams have let themselves down. Like that particular touch, it's just been disappointing in some instances.
Yeah, there's been a lot of positives, but those few negatives have really put a bit of a tempo on. It's like lots of smoke, no fire.
Couldn't have described it any better. That man Kosin Ngobo is about to be replaced by Kabelo Dlamini. Kosin Ngobo, the 16-year-old, just making his way off the pitch. He's had a decent game as well, full of industry, but as Farouk said, good player to look at, but needs to work on his final delivery, the end product, as they say. Alas, he's still only 16 years old. That does not put too much pressure on him. Kubeka now punches. Just under 2 minutes now remaining. And Mamelodi Sundowns edge ever so closer to taking bragging rights. Back go Mamelodi. And Fostana the brush. That's what they're gonna be expecting, are the fans. Well, Naturan is just gonna be a bit disappointed in terms of the performance from the young boys.
Well, at least Temba, they have a yardstick. They can look at this game or this tournament and say, look, where do we need to improve on? And if they can improve in those areas, I think the material is there, the talent is there. They can really turn this around. And as you pointed out, a lot of these boys are young enough to play in the next tournament come 2017.
I think both teams have, when they sit down and they give a post-mortem of their tournament, they'll probably have similar points of progression, as Nkuma puts in a decent ball. He's been a standout player for me. Nkuma on the left-hand side, whenever he's got the ball, he's been positive and he's put in a few balls that have bothered the Chiefs defense. As I was saying, Farouk, I think both teams, when they sit down, probably be the similar analysis of the game. Good with the ball at feet in terms of taking the ball out of defense into midfield, but the final third, that's where you win it and lose a game.
Well, I think the advantage for them is they're going to have the advantage of high definition footage. I mean, what more could you ask? You look at the video, it tells you so much more.
You didn't have HD back in your day, Farouk.
No, we had. It was during the, it was just like, I'm just about, what, 29 now? But it's saying that it's a huge tool. In the past, you didn't have the advantage of video replays. And I promise you, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000 words, because there's so much players can physically see and improve on.
And of course, this picture's being brought by your World of Champions, Super Sport 4. By the way, 2 minutes of referees added time added as Downs just look to wind down this game. They find Promise Nkuma with a lovely looking ball. Nkuma, I told you he's been positive whenever he gets the ball. He's got a lovely little burst of pace, a little jink, and he drops the shoulder. Tries to get an early ball in, Farouk.
Yeah, no, him and Modisi, for me, have been outstanding. The wing play from Sundowns has really been excellent. It's the finishing that has really not lived up to expectation.
Yeah, the left-hand side for Sandawana as a pizza tries to get a header in. Modisi, Nkuma. Great combination on that left-hand side for Sandawana. Chiefs running out of time, less than a minute remaining. Can they find something? Moment of magic, individual brilliance perhaps. Don't have much left really. As Downs do what any team in the position that they find themselves would do. That looked like the player had just timed his run perfectly. The ball just over his head. As Downs continue to just keep possession and keep Chiefs in areas that they cannot hurt them. I'm gonna put my head on the chopping block here and say I think this W will go to Mamelodi Sundowns come the end of 62 minutes. Shot there for Sanilo Ngobese to handle.
Well, I think your prediction would come through based on some assistance from the man in the middle.
Man, Kivin Mabasa. Fortuitous penalty for Mamelodi Sundowns as they thrash a ball. And look good, we said about that left-hand side. That instance was that man Modisi. Impressive Modisi. As we're saying, the referee, Kevin Mabasa, probably be the main talking point of this game as the man in question blows the whistle. And ends Kaizer Chiefs' campaign on a sour note. Wow, for the boys from Mamelodi's finest. They claim bragging rights against their rivals. And man, Sanilo Ngobese, he's had a good tournament. As that man as well, Lebu Lesako is one to look out for in the future. But for the young man for Chiefs, he's back to the drawing board. Arthur Zwane has done well to be a mentor for some of these young men. Same can be said for Katbe Sufula. At full time, Mamelodi Sundowns take the bragging rights 1-0 against Kaizer Chiefs. And that is that moment we spoke about in terms of that penalty decision from Given Mabasa Farouk. We still even can have 4, 5, 6 different angles of that. We still cannot work out why that was a penalty and a yellow card.
Well, clearly that was a very soft one. But I think on the balance of play, Sundowns are deserved winners in this game. They created more chances. Unfortunately, couldn't finish them.
Couldn't finish them on that instance. Thabo Moluisani was the man to finish that ensuing penalty kick to ensure that bragging rights are claimed by Bafana Bako Mamelodi. Possession statistics were edged by Mamelodi Sundowns, while goal attempts, they created one more than Chiefs in terms of shots on target. The midfield, as I said, was a crucial one. Nkosi Ngcobo and the two Mkizes battled hammer and tongs for most of the 60 minutes. Mamelodi Sundowns, total attacks they created, almost 20 more attacks than Kaizer Chiefs. In the end, I think on the balance of play, they deserve the win.
They definitely do deserve the win, getting that number 9 spot. Joining me now is Coach Godfrey Sapula, who should be very proud with these boys getting that points against Kaizer Chiefs. Coach, you fought it out, and at the end it was one goal that made you walk away victorious in this match.
Yeah, we're happy with the win, but I think we could have scored more goals. I think this has been happening throughout this tournament. We create many chances in all the matches that we've played, but our finishing is letting us down, and it's something that we need to be working on. And this is a game also that we're playing for our pride, to restore our pride. I mean, playing against Chiefs is a big club, just as Sundowns. So we wanted to make sure that we win this match, just to boost also the confidence of the boys.
Now, Coach, it's always hard to single out a single player, but Spamandla Ntuli is sitting at 6 goals as the top goal scorer. What do you make of his performance?
I think Spamanda also is one of the culprits, the player that has missed a lot of opportunities in the past matches, and he managed to score 6 in one match. And I'm saying to myself, had he gave us 2 the last match, just to split the 6 goals in between all the 3 matches, would be through possibly to be fighting for the top spot in this tournament. But I'm quite proud because of he scored 6 goals. Also, it's helping also to boost his confidence. But it's something that he needs to be working on, because he's one player who can put himself in a situation to score, but his finishing is letting him down. But I think the 6 goals that he scored yesterday will sort of boost his confidence.
Oh, thank you so much for your time, Coach, and well done on the win.
Thank you.
Coach Godfrey Sapula of Mamelodi Sundowns, very pleased with the point, but also saying that there's areas that he saw need to be worked on. It's also just about the pride of saying we walked away victorious against Kaizer Chiefs. Now I am joined by Spamandla Ntuli. Spamandla, you've scored, you are the top goal scorer for the tournament at the moment. How do you feel?
I'm really proud for myself and for the team for supporting me and giving me the courage to score goals. But then, to be honest with everyone and myself, I don't think I played very well during the tournament, because the last 3 first matches I missed a lot of opportunities in those games. If I scored during those games, then I would have at least made the team to go to the semi-finals and the finals. But then I managed to score at the last moment, which was for me kind of useless, because it didn't help the team, but it helped me as an individual.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck on those goals.
Thank you very much.
It's Spamandla Ntuli of Mamelodi Sundowns saying, you know what, he's not very impressed with the past couple of days, although he's sitting at the top spot as our top goal scorer. But Coach Arthur Zwane was one man who will not be very pleased. Yet another defeat in the tournament, Coach.
Look, it's not about the results. Obviously, when you are at the stage of the tournament, obviously, you just want to make sure that the boys, they enjoy. And obviously, we were playing for maybe position 9 and 10. So I didn't expect much from them, and you could see, their legs couldn't carry them anymore. But they they tried very hard. Some of them, you could see they were digging very deeper, just to stay in the game. So, like I said, it's not about the results. All I want to see is our boys taking responsibility as wingers, and the midfielders, giving those passes wide so that they can take responsibility, taking on people and passing the ball to the strikers to finish off. And obviously, a better organized defense, then we have a bright future in this country.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach, and unlucky for that defeat.
Thanks a lot.
Coach Arthur Zwane is saying he didn't expect much from his players. Could that be the reason why they did not walk away victorious in this one? I am now joined by the captain of Kaizer Chiefs, that is Wiseman Mewa. Wiseman, come closer and let's talk about this match. I mean, your team came in, first good game that we saw, Kaizer Chiefs was on fire, and from there we didn't see any more wins from your team.
Sure, ngasho ukuthi igame sidlalile, siwatholile ama-opportunity mara asiwasebenzisanga ama-opportunity. Iyo futhi into esikhawathile kule tournament le ukuthi singawaspanisa ama-opportunity. Siwatholile maningi, finishing yethu ipoor, ngasho kanjalo.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Wiseman.
Thank you.
Wiseman May was saying that it was just about taking charge of those opportunities and being able to find the back of the net. But the action continues on your World of Champions. These are the games that will be live on your World of Champions. Don't forget, it's the big final. Atletico Madrid playing against Betis, the battle of the countries. It is Spain versus South Africa. Don't forget, Orlando Pirates also playing against Cap Joanna right here on your World of Champions.
Well, reaching the final of this competition may have proved to be a bridge too far for Torino FC and Atletico Monero, but both these sides will be looking to alleviate the disappointment of falling short by signing off in style as they compete for 5th place at the 2016 edition of Future Champs Gauteng. We are here in Soweto. I must say, the sun is blazing down at the Nike Center, and I'd be understating it if I were to only wish you a very warm welcome. So to all our viewers, thank you for joining us for this 5th place playoff clash between Torino FC and Atletico Monero. Well, when Il Toro bid South Africa arrivederci after last year's tournament, it was with the trophy in tow, and it was always going to be difficult to emulate 2015's success, but they can take many positives from this week. They're still unbeaten and have won 3 out of their last 4 fixtures, the 4 fixtures they've competed in this competition. It's the final day of action here. Of course, the big one is the final later in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, Bidvest Wits taking on Atletico Madrid. But for now, the matter at hand is this game, and facing the Italians, equally vaunted opponents, They've in fact won the competition 3 times. They're taking on defending champions. The Brazilians are the most successful team in this competition, and they've on occasion this time around demonstrated the true meaning of Jogo Bonito, but they've never really kicked into that final gear that we know that they are capable of, and because of that weren't able to qualify for the semi-finals and ultimately the finals of this competition. It's always good to have someone so esteemed alongside me, and in this case I do have Farouk Khan in the commentary booth with me. Coach, your feelings on this match? There's still something to play for. It might not be the trophy, but still a little bit at stake.
Yeah, I think both of these teams, if you look at the pedigree of Torino as well as Atletico Monero, 2 quality teams. It came down to goal difference for Torino, and you know, and ultimately it's a case of them playing for that 5th position. You know, 5th is better than finishing 6th. So obviously, yeah, a lot to play for.
Of course, if another side had managed to win yesterday, they'd be playing off for 7th and 8th position. So far more favorable here. Getting into this playoff spot for Monero, it was via a 1-0 scoreline against Shandong Luneng. Torino, identical scoreline against Club Brugge. Just 1 goal apiece in their last outing. They'll be hoping for a little bit more this time around. Both teams have made only a few changes, 1 or 2 here and there to their starting lineup. So looking to keep things stable and build on what they've already done in the competition.
Well, there's also the bragging rights, you know, as far as countries are concerned. Italians, Brazil, pedigree countries that have won World Cups, and they'll be playing for their country's pride as well.
Well, the youngsters from Winsani Primary accompanying Atletico Monero, and from Nkoli Primary for Torino. I must say the primary school adopted by the Italians have been treated so well by them, given gifts such as shirts and all kinds of other banners, and every time they take to the field, these youngsters from Soweto are just so excited to see them, treating them like the superstars that they may one day go on to become. Speaking of these superstars, in between the sticks, Alberto Savini replaces Zanalati. Those two have kind of been exchanging gloveman duties throughout the tournament. Up front, Yaquanella scored last time out to add to the hat-trick he had got earlier in the tournament. He sits on 4 goals. Will have to do quite a bit today if he wants to take the golden boot for Atletico Monero. They've made a change at the back. Matthias Stockel comes in, and rejoining the defense is João Vitor, a towering blonde centre half, leading the line. Alejandro, he scored last time out, so the strikers for both sides, fresh off a goal, will be hoping for more. The game will get underway shortly with the watchful eye of Michael Koza, flanked by the captains of the two sides, Renan for Atletico Monero, Davide Drovetti for the Italian side, Torino. On the bench, or should I call it the deck chair, today, the coach of the Brazilians, Ricardo Alves, will probably try and stay under shade for as long as possible today. But should he find his boys in a little bit of trouble, no doubt he'll take to the touchline as he's just done momentarily. It's very, very hot, as I've mentioned before. It's the hottest day that we've had to endure so far at future champs Gauteng. Davide Drovetti, Renan of Alvin Negro, the team out of Brazil, they are affectionately known. For Torino, Andrea Mengeni, quite a bull himself. They are nicknamed Il Toro, the Bull, the Bulls, And my word, his demeanor is much like a rampaging, charging bull when things aren't going his way. In fact, even when things are going his way, he, he likes to get up and out of his seat. He's very, very vocal. We are seconds away from kickoff. Michael Koza blows his whistle. Farouk Khan, this promises to be a really excellent game.
Well, it could be the final before the final. If you look at both of these teams, if I'm not mistaken, at some time they've won this competition. And yeah, we've seen them in the tournament. You know, tournament football is different, Grant. You, on the day, the result, the goals, and it can go anyway.
The margins were so very slim for both of these two sides not making it into the semi-finals. For Torino, they lost out on goal difference. The same is true for Atletico Monero, losing out to, well, it was Bidvest Wits and Orlando Pirates respectively.
Well, I think an important objective from this tournament is to assess your team in as far as certain parameters. Technically, how do you rate them out of 10? Tactically, and I think if you look at these teams, Torino, you look at the basics that they utilize, you look at Monero as well. This is important to build on. You know, you could go into this tournament, win it, and still lack in those areas.
Alejandro showing good strength, but then taken off the ball extremely well. Great turn. Rizzo needs to locate a teammate, endeavoring down this left-hand, or right-hand flank rather, until he's eventually fouled. Was nothing more than a throw-in, I'm mistaken. That was good, strong work. Unfortunately, he was crowded out by almost 3 players. He couldn't even turn backwards to play it to his accompanying fullback.
Well, this is the type of defending we're going to see. They throw a blanket over you. They get numerically numbers, more numbers than you, and they try to win back possession.
Great strength once again from Alejandro, and a good turn. Comes out to the captain, Genan. 15-year-old Wandrew lays it off, and now it's back to the captain. Good early touches for the Brazilians. Sometimes that's the mandate from the coach. Everyone get their foot on the ball early, get a feel for it, get a feel for the tempo of the game, and that's precisely what Alvin Negro are doing right now.
Well, they try to slow it down to an extent where they can eventually speed it up. So they control the tempo, you control the game. And it's something they learn from a very young age.
Good early chance here now. Igor Alejandro tries to return the favor, just can't slip it through. In the background, you can see a giant, I'm not entirely sure what that is, Farouk.
You worked it out.
2 giants in the crowd. Battling away on the near side. Nicolo Rauti.
Well, I think both teams are going to feel each other out. This is a more matured performance. You just look at the tempo, you look at the ball circulation. You don't find that many players rushing in, diving in, well organized. Look at how the number 7 there from Monero, you know, shadows the play. Cornella.
Well, you know what, Farouk, it's a very composed performance, especially from the Italians. That's their game. And I'm just wondering, perhaps, whether the intensity of a team like Wits when they came back in the first game, whether that was their undoing. Perhaps wouldn't be used to that playing against other Italian sides who would adopt a similar mentality and a similar style.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the more mature team will slow it down and kill your pace. But I said earlier when I said Gonella, I meant Igor, the Brazilian. You know, you can see the zonal defending, and as I spoke to you earlier, you can't press in the middle, and you find lots of times defenders just rushing in. There are certain areas, and I think this is where you'll see it evidently.
We certainly will see more of it. It's just this game will be won and lost by very fine margins, I would imagine. And we're talking about a lapse in concentration, perhaps, because other than that, it's going to be very difficult to break down either defense. A set piece might be the way in for one of these teams. And here, Atletico Monero have their first chance might be just a little too far out to have a crack at goal, but you wouldn't put it past someone certainly like Wandru having a go, and now in and flies against the wall. The 16-year-old Vinicius, who picks it up now, was the man with the shot.
Well, there you'll see the quality we spoke about. Okay, Vinicius' shot was blocked, but the power was there. If you can remember Roberto Carlos, the power he generated. And these Brazilians are known to hit them very solidly with accuracy.
Rauti threaded through beautifully to the impressive Gonea. Fabio Gonea, 15-year-old, in the center of midfield. He's got great set-piece delivery. They certainly cannot afford to give him too many opportunities to whip it in, as he will now do from the corner. A first for Il Toro. Gonela in at the near post and easily cleared. Did see yesterday against Club Brugge that he took a long time to kind of find his range. It took him 2 or 3 set pieces before he started to get them right. That may be the story of today as well. Over the top, Drovetti to Gonela. Poor.
Well, if you compare the earlier set pieces we saw with the Chiefs and the Sundowns, there's a huge difference, and these are things we need to learn from. I think we need an open mind and see what we can benefit from these teams that come from academies that have been in existence for many years, and see what they do correctly. And I'm sure they're coming in also learning from us, so it's an exchange of knowledge, ideas, etc.
Trying to just lift it over the top for Aquanella, who goes down. Referee Michael Corsa perhaps judging that to have been a barge in the back, taken quickly. It was a good idea if it had to come off for them. Was Aquanella onto it quickly, but Brazilian defense very alert.
Yeah, really alert. I think that quick one could have caught them, but he reacted very quickly and stopped almost a certain goal, because the referee didn't indicate that he needed to blow his whistle before the free kick was taken.
Drovetti, 16-year-old from Turin, plays it to Samake.
Sure, our monitor took a bit of a knock there.
A young man from Mali. A young man from Mali has almost belted the ball right at us, Farouk.
Yeah, I think sometimes the wider players tend to hold the ball instead of playing back into the middle and then playing wide.
We have sturdy equipment in the commentary booth.
Yeah, that wall stood the test of time.
Yeah.
I mean, that wall in front of us was really solid. I'm sure the viewers won't know what we're talking about. Maybe you should explain.
Hey, absolutely right. Here in the commentary booth, characteristically, you would see the commentary booth up in the stands of a stadium. Of course, at the Nike Center, and it's implied in the name, the Nike Training Center. It's not an all-seater stadium. They are certainly a place to sit around, but our commentary booth is more of a temporary arrangement, very close to the pitch. And when the ball comes flying in like that, well, it comes right at us. Your headering skills might have to come into play.
Yeah, no, I was trying to put it on my chest there, but unfortunately the monitor took the first touch away from me.
A little bit of pressure here. Good skill by the keeper. Alberto Savini could have been in trouble, but evaded the on-rushing attacker.
Well, we can use that possibly for the Cassie flavor moment on extra time. I mean, that keeper really showed some real excellent skill.
Yeah, perhaps you'll want to dissect that for us next week. He's learning things. He's come to South Africa, he's learning things.
Yeah, you know, you wouldn't expect it from an Italian to have that type of skill and flair. No disrespect, goalkeeper especially. But he showed some fantastic skill, close control.
What do you think Robert's going to say about that?
Well, he's going to make it a Kasi moment, you know, and the great sheikhs who contributed greatly to the show, who's passed on, would really have said something to the effect, "Het hom geslaan."
The Brazilian attackers will be hoping to get him back for that. And no better way to do that And to fire one past him. Bulge his net. Good hold up there by Drovetti, and then locates Filero relatively well. Back with the keeper. No moment of skill this time around.
Well, if things stand, if it goes into the end of this match and there's no score, you never know. The keeper could be played up front.
Well, you know, with such good skill with his feet, he might be one of the men taking penalties, which of course is what this game might be destined for, should it end deadlocked.
Yeah, no. We wouldn't like to see penalties. I'd like to see, you know, based on both teams' strengths, if they can win it in normal time.
An outright winner would certainly be good. Haven't seen penalties so far in this competition. Which must be said, it's the odds, the likelihood of having penalties have been quite high, because since yesterday all the games have been playoff games, which means there needs to be a result, and we've seen a result in every game. Of course, today all of the games, either a playoff or a final. So of course, penalties also a likelihood. There's 12 opportunities to see penalties, and we haven't seen any yet.
Well, it's exciting. Penalties are exciting, but based on the fact that both these two teams are matched so evenly, it would be nice to not lose on penalties.
It's always one of the most heartbreaking ways to lose. That, and of course an injury time winner from your opposition. Pedro found himself in a very advanced position, and now he is well out of position as Rauti goes on the attack. Fires it across, and Rizzo was ever so close to just side-footing that into the pretty much open net.
Yeah, Rizzo there, a little bit caught wanting there. Excellent cross, good build-up from the left side. And, you know, when Roti goes up, he leaves that space, which is going to be exploited by Torino.
That really was close at a second time of viewing it. Fine margins here for Rook, and it really could come down to a mistake or an individual moment of brilliance, which is really what we love to see now. Goner, muscled off by Henan. Vinicius, touched back by Alejandro. Onto it sharply. Was Iago who lost out. Goner, there's a beautiful passing range. Rauti. Well, he cuts inside, does skip past his man, and then the shot did not match rather the a nice piece of skill he showed to create the space for himself.
Yeah, no, an excellent run there. Came inside, unfortunately. Yeah, you see there, he strikes the ball, comes off his foot, doesn't hit it cleanly, and he's very, very, very disappointed there, Roti. He feels he could have gotten more on that shot.
Punched the ground in frustration. He knew it was a real chance.
Well, it's going to be Roti on this side here, because we know that the likes of Pedro will push up, and I think that's a tactic Torino has realized. The Brazilian fullbacks have a tendency to push up high, and that's where you can basically exploit the wide spaces.
Now the Brazilians look to exploit the wide spaces through the man you just spoke about. Pedro picked up Shady Okoda, the Moroccan. Over the top to Rauti again. Pedro pretty much caught out of position and had to get back in a hurry.
Well, in fact, Atletico Monero like to push up high. I said Torino earlier.
Yeah,
it was actually Atletico Monero that push up with the likes of Pedro and Iago. And this is where Torino can exploit that space. Correction.
They've literally done it 3 times in the last minute or so. It's so evident that, well, Torino have figured out their opposition very early on. Shady Okada. looks to deliver in with his left. It's blocked away by Henan.
Well, Torino looked a more structured team. They have had more of the lion's share of attacks. We haven't really seen Monero, threatening the Torino goal.
Another Malian, Ali Samake, looks to launch it. It's a strange technique for a long throw. It doesn't take any run up whatsoever.
Well, we spoke on Monday or Tuesday, you
Yes.
mentioned the importance of the long throw, and it's a weapon that we sometimes neglect.
Now, Okada to Samake, two men from Africa combining. Cleared away by the ever-impressive João Vitor. Did not feature in the last game. Wasn't even available as a sub. Torino have had the better of the play. That's reflected in the possession stats. 57% of possession belonging to the Italian outfit.
And there they pass into that goalkeeper who's so comfortable, Savini, so comfortable on the ball. I think as a back four, you will be very, very relaxed knowing you have a keeper that is able to use his feet so well.
Yaquanela. Gonea. To Shady Okada. Wasn't comfortable trying to thread a ball through. His men marked up tightly, and then Fabio Gonella attempting the shot on the turn. First time shot doesn't come off for him. Keeps surging infield. Releases Alejandro. Played across the box and just not able to keep it in is Igor. That was a good chance for the big man up front.
Yeah, no, they caught Torino there napping a little bit, and that's that wonderful champagne pass there. And unfortunately, they didn't get much on the ball, and a missed opportunity.
Savini may have some work to do. Vinicius whips it in. It's well cleared away. Igor perhaps getting in the way of a pass that was intended to come back out to Vinicius on the near side.
This player, João from Monero, solid player, strong in the tackle, gives away very little.
Gives away very little. Also offers a fair deal up front. An imposing figure. Perhaps a young man that over time will be well served to fill out just a little bit, occupying that centre half role. But very good and has been blessed. Now, Gonea. Shot takes a deflection. I was just saying, has been blessed with a lot of height.
Yeah, you need solid, tall defenders in the modern game, people that can combat in the air for aerial balls. And also, with set pieces, you find it's been an area where lots of teams have really excelled in. And if you don't have tall defenders, you are in trouble.
Samake, he is a tall defender. Speaking of them, plays in a full-back role. Reminds me very much of Bona of Italy. Now with West Ham, and actually started with this side from Torino.
Well, if you can recall the successful season Chiefs had with Mashamaiti and Mato, the Twin Towers. I mean, they gave away very little and they complemented each other so well.
It's all about complementing each other. It's combinations more than anything. You could have two excellent defenders, but do they work well as a unit? And yes, more often than not, you need to have height, but you can often pair a tall defender with someone not blessed with the same kind of height, simply because he might be more mobile and a better ball player. And it's often those combinations that dictate whether a defense is going to be effective or not.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but ideally, you'd prefer having two tall lads and maybe your fullbacks.
Good covering fullbacks, yes.
Because, when you have balls played in, the second ball is always going to be a factor. And that's where your defensive midfielder comes in, picking up that important second balls.
We do find often in South Africa that those much bigger defenders are in short supply. And I'm told, maybe you can verify this for me, that often when it comes to that grassroots level, or at academy level, that when it comes to trials or the likes, that often the bigger lads will be disregarded because at that point in their development as a footballer, they don't have as good a feet. And well, the thing is that being further from their feet, it might be a little bit harder to develop that technique. But the thing is, Farouk, you can't teach height. You can teach technique. You can teach ball control and passing. You cannot teach height.
Excellent point. Excellent point. I think we need to be a bit more patient. They're going through very...
Arauti whips it into the back post. Rizzo tries to control it.
Yeah.
Doesn't manage to. That was a good opportunity on the left-hand flank. Arauti looking incredibly dangerous.
Excellent pass there. Poor first touch. And yeah, he was onside. I don't think the assistant put up his flag. We were on the point that you mentioned. I think it's important to educate people on the basis that every time we want to say something, there's another exciting moment. Let's watch it.
Torino doing a good job of keeping the pressure on. Ball goes over, crosses. It's not the worst. It's not the worst if it had been met by someone. It gave them an opportunity to head it home very close to goal, and then just the attack petered out as the cross flew over everyone. It's looking really good. Torino are utilizing their wings exceptionally.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to do so. But on the point of tall defenders, it's important to identify players that you can work with, develop their skill. I can talk firsthand about Mashamaiti. He didn't have the best feet, but he had a good football brain, he had playing intelligence, and you work around it because South Africans aren't blessed, as you said, with the height, but we're blessed with players that do have height but don't have the skill. And you can always work on the skill. If you get them young enough, we can produce, because I promise you lots of these players have been through at least 3 or 4 or 5 years of development.
Good work by Samake. Once again, Torino on the attack. Gonea. That attack quelled in the end by a good sliding tackle. Now turned round the corner. Pace from Felipe. Battling away here with Samake, who lashes out at him. It's going to be difficult for him to escape a card here. He won't. Ali Samake has picked up the game's first booking. Didn't get anywhere near the ball.
Now he was turned inside out. You had the likes of Samake there trying to deal with a player who's running at you at speed and skill, and unfortunately for him, he had to stop him with a foul.
Now, how aware was the Malian of exactly where the box was? He was very, very close to giving away a penalty. Vinicius and Wandru stand over it. Wandru goes for it. Once again, crashes it into the wall. Haven't seen very many good direct free kicks in this competition. Still obviously a skill that many of these young men are working on perfecting. Torino survived that moment of danger and now go back on the attack. Lofted over to Rauti.
What I find interesting is Shadi Okadi. The playing as a central defender. They've since moved him into midfield, and he hasn't shown the same impetus that we saw. He controlled things as a central defender, but I suppose he's a versatile player.
I just feel that with a player like him, he needs to see more in front of him. He needs to see more of the game, and as a centre half, he's able to see all aspects of the game. Maybe gets caught out a little bit, having to show more awareness, a 360 awareness, as opposed to a centre half who doesn't really have to. Here he is on the ball. Shady Okada lays it back. Now Drovetti was dropping very deep yesterday, and they did take on Club Brugge. That is the way that he likes to play, just slots in between the two centre halves and dictates play from there.
Well, if you look at how they set themselves up, they created width and depth. Immediately when they have possession, there we see it, they're far apart, they're not too close. And that creates problems for the opponents to mark them over that distance.
Monero goes short from the goal kick. One thing I haven't seen, and I won't call it the fact that none of the teams have done anything inventive from a goal kick. It's often difficult to do something inventive from a goal kick, but well, they don't often go long, and you're seeing in the modern game more and more where the players are, well, they can't be offside, that they will bunch together and force the other team to come and mark them, creating spaces elsewhere in the field that can be utilized if you get the correct flick on. These players remaining very static in their lines, their banks of defense and midfield when they take the goal kick. It would be interesting to see something a bit better. Perhaps that's a consequence of the fact that none of these keepers, barring maybe Alex from Atletico Madrid, are able to launch the ball very long.
Well, we've seen Tumalankine, Kune, etc. There we see yeah, that looks like a bit of a stats up showing. And yeah, he's got it there on the ankle there, very sore. And the referee awarding a free kick. On what we discussed, I think it's a case of two factors: vision, intelligence. And then you find the likes of keepers that are able to utilize that to their benefit.
Speaking of intelligence, part of intelligence would be your awareness and your ability to understand when you should come off your line, as Savini has done ever so well.
He's a modern day keeper, Savini. If you look at him, he's not on his line, he's a sweeper keeper, and very important. He doesn't get stuck to his goal line.
Emmanuel Valerio to Rauti has had the biggest impact in this game so far. Skips past his man, fires in with the left foot. Corner for Il Toro.
Well, every build-up from Torino has been, they start in the center and then they move it down to the wings.
Samaki. Gone fires it across. Doesn't beat the first man. It's creating all kinds of danger in the box. Well, they didn't panic at Atletico Monero, which means that now they have a chance to break, although it is nicely defended by Ali Samake, who's crashed into the scaffolds down below us here. This could be a real problem for him. The game continues. Still kept in, laid across the box. Igor sets himself up and fires in on the half volley. I'm worried about Samake here. Coach Andrea Mengini is absolutely furious.
Well, he's furious because, you know, it was a very, very hard tackle on him there. And, yeah, you know, he fell into the scaffolding there and could have really been badly injured.
It's a purposeful shove from number 8, so one through. Well, things are boiling over on the field as well.
Well, they're upset about the tackle.
Yeah, no, but they, of course, they have every right to be. And that kind of thing can be extremely dangerous.
I think that was a bit of excessive force used. And the referees are fuming. Well, let's hope things don't go out of hand here.
More trouble here. Shady Okada can't believe that it's him who's been red carded. The referee wants him off. Things have gone from bad to worse for
Let's look at this.
Torino. Wow. Farouk.
Yeah, no, clearly no intention to play the ball there from Shady. Shady really is deserved. Maybe I would say A yellow, maybe not really a red there. Did it look like a red?
It's halfway in between. It's one of those where it could have been a yellow and everyone would have still been happy with it. And maybe he's just getting a bit of his, well, not his own back, but on behalf of his teammate, Samake, has just gone in rather hard on one of the Atletico Mineiro men.
Well, I think he wants to stamp his authority because there's been quite a few niggling fouls. So issuing that red card, unfortunately for Shadi, has been he's been a sacrificial lamb, I suppose, to some extent.
The Moroccan departs the field. And Torino have a real uphill battle on their hands here. I must say, Farouk, I'm a little bit worried for the referee. I'm worried for the fourth official. I'm worried for my own safety with Andrea Mangini in such close proximity. He is going to be absolutely fuming.
Yeah, look, they need to understand why we're here for development. I think the coaches and the players need to be a bit more cool and calm and solve this before it gets out of hand.
Torino will have to face the final few seconds of added time with 10 men and an entire 30-minute second half. One man short as well.
And
Do
a
they
key
have
man.
a very key man, yes. Stockel to Gennen. Just hope that the game doesn't die out a little, because Atletico Mineiro often is the case with a team that have an extra man. They can take their foot off the gas just a little bit, assuming that at some point they'll be able to break their opposition down a lot easier. Well, the first 30 minutes comes to an end. It's been a strange first half in which Torino have had the better chances, have looked the better of the two sides, but now find themselves very much on the back foot. Ali Samake received a shove in the back and went careening into the scaffolding. And in the end, Shady Okada retaliated against one of the Atletico players and was sent off. The game right now stands at 0-0.
And it is goalless right at the Nike Training Football Center, playing for that 5th and 6th position. It is going to be quite tricky for Torino FC to make a comeback after Shady got that red card. So second half, interesting to see how it's going to unfold. Don't forget that you can be a part of all the action at SuperSport TV, #SS4Football. It is the International Future Champions Gauteng tournament. After this, we'll take a look at the first 30 minutes.
Fifth place is at stake as Torino FC take on Atletico Monero. It's still deadlocked at 0-0. Torino are down to 10 men. I'd hate to be Shady Okada right now. I'd hate to be any of the Torino team as they take an absolute grilling from their coach, Andrea Mengini, probably lambasting them for the fact that they should be ahead by now. Rauti can't really be faulted for much, has provided a lot of great service. In this instance, chooses to go alone, scuts his shot, he's off balance. It's a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, no, a wasted opportunity there, should have done better. And that was one of the rare opportunities that Atletico Monero had, and they should have done better.
Alejandro was sent through by a peach of a ball. And then the shot is not bad, but you have to credit Savini with the save. He too has looked excellent, and he hasn't had much to do. You would expect in the final 30, he'll be a much, much busier man. This is a Rauti that we've spoken about. Skips away and then plays in the ball. He's been good, the service has been good, the finishing, well, there's a distinct lack of quality up front. The stats reflect that Torino have been very much in the ascendancy, haven't made enough of their possession. The telling stat right now, red cards, Torino have one. Shady Okada is off the field, and he's a key man. Well, as we might have suspected from Atletico Monero, they have utilized their wings to good effect when they have had the ball, although Torino far in the ascendancy when it comes to the amount of attacks. Torino now will have to consolidate, sit back and hope for penalties, whilst Atletico Monero might be best served to throw in some more attackers and actually chase the outright victory.
That's correct, Grant. I doubt Atletico Monero will want to go through to penalties, but we'll have to see some changes when it comes to Torino FC. Well, joining me now is none other than Maurizio, who is the chairman of HIP Alliance. Now, your HIP Alliance is involved in the tournament, and tell us more about that.
Yes, I'm the chairman of the Italian section of the HIP Alliance. It's an organization made up of South Africans of Greek, Cypriot, Italian, and Portuguese origin. And what we do is we become involved in social cohesion projects, nation building projects, projects of this nature which are important, not only for sport, but for the upliftment of communities. The most beautiful thing to see here today are the learners that have come here. A lot of them have received kits from the teams that are represented from throughout the world. They must come here and enjoy themselves. And we are all proud South Africans. It's also nice to host all these people here. So the Gauteng government has done a beautiful job with Future Champions, because an event of this nature is important for so many aspects in society.
Now the game going on now, it's Torino FC as well as Atletico Monero. Now, in terms of Torino as the Italian team defending champions, what do you make of their play today?
Well, today it's now become a difficult game because Torino only has 10 players, but generally speaking, they won the title last year. This year, they still haven't lost a match. They didn't proceed to the semi-final due to the goal average principle. But once again, the Torino organization are just so happy that Torino is here. Whether you win or you lose, as long as you come here and you contribute towards the main aim and the goal of the tournament.
Well, thank you, a representative of HIP Alliance. Talking to us about Torino as well as the Italian side will be playing against Atletico Madrid. But after this, it is the second half. Torino FC against Monero.
We're back at the Nike Center in Soweto, where Torino face an absolute uphill battle against Atletico Monero of Brazil. They are down to 10 men, which could actually make for a very exciting half of action. They were the team on top, but now you would imagine they would be slightly on the back foot. Mpumalanga Black Aces finished off their match earlier in the day, and now some of the players taking in the remaining action. It's going to be good. Samaki, we were certainly a little bit worried about him during the first half when he went crashing into the scaffolding on the side of the field, but seems to have shaken it off. He's a tough young man. Torino ready themselves for 30 minutes. That will be an absolute dogfight They'll want to remain composed, remain structured, and to do that they might be forced to just switch things up a little bit. Speaking of switching things up again, it is Atletico Monero who will do exactly that. Coming on to the field, Paulo replacing Vinicius. Maybe just didn't see enough of the 16-year-old, and he is withdrawn. Now Farouk for Torino, their best bet here. Of course, they want to get a goal, but it seems like it might be a bit of a tough ask. What's their best bet in terms of reorganization to deal with the fact that they are a man down?
Well, possibly bring Rizzo back into midfield, you know, that number 10, to stabilize the middle and play with one man up front, and then to absorb and try to catch Atletico on the counter-attack. On the side of Monero, they've shown their intent by bringing in Paulo and increasing their attacking options.
Well, where previously they were playing with a 4-3-3, it was Iaconello up front with Rauti and Rizzo. What they seem to have done now is just withdrawn those two wingers slightly into the midfield. They're still playing on the flanks, but they're no longer playing as wingers in the traditional sense. They're playing as right and left-sided midfielders with Fabio Gonella and Davide Drovetti. This is Drovetti, the captain. Samake. It's going to be hard going for the lone man, Iaconello. He's used to having a lot of assistance on the outside of him.
And also, if they drop too deep and that important transition we saw from them in the first half, right, they were able to transcend from defense to attack very effectively. That won't be the case now because of the fact that they just have one man up front.
It's going to be important for the defense to remain disciplined, to remain resolute. There can be no lapses in concentration. You don't have Shady Okada to bail you out anymore. Paulo getting his first few touches. The set pieces too, maybe an area from which they can profit. It is often the case when you are a man up.
They show some early promise, and you know, they are normally teams that punish you from set pieces because of the quality service they provide.
Ball goes in, cleared at the near post. Delivery certainly devoid of quality.
Yeah, they say commentators curse. You know, you expect a better quality shot, and they're really poor. Igor really didn't maximize a wonderful opportunity to get something from.
Gonel now to Raute. We've all seen those matches in which the team with 10 men comes out with the victory simply because their opposition switches off slightly. They almost assume, oh, it's a foregone conclusion, we are a man up, we will definitely win this game. And the other team, or the fact that they've lost a man, it seems to just galvanize them. Nicola Rauti, great turn, takes the shot. Now did that fly off hands? What's the, well, the ball has gone into the back of the net after it flew off the hands of Yao Vitor, if I'm not mistaken. The referee had already decided it was a penalty before it was tucked away neatly.
Well, here's the initial header, and there we see the strike, and the ball hits him on the hand. From
Great
the distance
turn.
that he was, maybe not a penalty, but the referee felt that his arm got in the way.
Did the ref do the right thing? Should he have let play continue, seen it end up in the back of the net and say that, well, it is in fact a goal? Now an opportunity for the man who created it. Rauti puts it in the back of the net. The team with 10 men have taken the lead. And Mendes may have got a hand to it, but it was struck with some venom.
Yeah, Mendes did extremely well. You could have even heard the sound as the ball was struck. There we see. Very soft penalty if you look at it, granted. Hit him there, that penalty kick. And yes, Rauti putting enough on it to not allow the likes of Mendes to stop that penalty.
He's been the standout player in this game as Nicola Rauti. And Andrea Mingini, well, his team have a goal that they might not thought that they would have got. Now they need to defend it.
They need to defend and possibly look to get the second on the counter. But you know, you spoke about the not the importance, but rather the fact that when you're 10 man, you know, you tend to work harder for your teammates, and that 10 men then becomes so dangerous because they're working so much harder than if they were a full team of 11.
20 seconds after saying that, they went on the offensive and got the penalty, which eventually resulted in the goal. Still questionable, number one, whether it should have been given as a penalty. So, keeper Savini. Oh, not the first time he's done that. Did that constitute a back pass to him?
Well, it depends how the referee interpreted it, but obviously...
Couldn't take chances.
Yeah, I couldn't take a chance.
Another very impressive goal scorer will be withdrawn and taking to the field. Naul Jose Busato, the Argentinian, just coming in to shore things up a little, add a little bit of steel to the midfield. Many might be thinking this is an ill-advised sub, taking off your most potent attacking threat. We'll wait to see whether it comes back to bite them, but for now, it's all about...
Well, it seems like Paulo there came down hard on him. Paulo is quite a solid attacker.
Penny, for your thoughts right now, Mr. Andrea Mingini. Seemingly never happy. Speaking of happy, these young fans, young and old, Torino fans. And maybe this is just the extra lift that the team from Italy needed. They are leading. They'll need those fans to continue singing throughout the game and just to buoy them on towards the 60-minute mark.
Well, are you going to call it the 12th man or the 11th man?
All right, now, yeah, they are Torino's 11th man, making up for Shady Okada. I'm sure, of course, those on the pitch in the maroon would prefer their Moroccan midfielder to still be on the park. Ball goes in. Aimed for Yakwenela by the boot of Fiordaliso. As we reach the 40-minute mark, if you're just joining us, we're at the Nike Center in Soweto for the 5th place playoffs of future champs Gauteng. It's Torino FC versus Atletico Monero. The Italian side are down to 10 men currently. But they are 1 goal to the good. Expect the Brazilians to come at them with everything that they have, especially as we get closer and closer to the full-time whistle. A goal here from Alvin Negro will force penalties. No extra time in this in these encounters. It's straight to penalties.
Well, here you see a contrast. You see solid defending against exciting attack. And with 10 men on the field, this is where you see the quality of Italian defending.
It must be said, now that you make mention of it, does this look like a side that has 10 men? Absolutely not. Chance coming forward. Alejandro tries to get on the end of it. Fires a shot into the ground.
Yeah, he shoots into the ground. But, you know, on the question of defending with 10 men, I think at times there are teams that train against 11. And that's important. And I think you need to plan for that eventuality, because it's so often happens that players aren't ready to deal with the 1 extra man.
We spoke earlier in the week about preparing yourself for all eventualities. You know, in a game, for example, like Atletico Madrid's dead rubber against Mpumalanga Black Aces, played many players out of position to prepare them for, well, circumstances in which they might be forced to do so. For example, if they were to go down to 10 men, and I would imagine that often in training you might pit your defense against a team with larger numbers, just to make sure that they become accustomed to that scenario. Agonela finds an option. The move breaks down. Atletico Madrid abscond with the ball, and it could be dangerous. I say the Italians get everyone, barring Yakwenela, behind the point of attack very quickly. And now the goalkeeper could be caught out. Is this the equalizer? My word, what a save! And what a follow-up miss that is. Well, that situation was contrived by the goalkeeper, coming out maybe a little bit misguidedly so. But when called upon, he made a fantastic save.
Well, if he had not made that important save, we would be saying he was the cause of that particular mistake. But, you know, as luck had it, not a clean shot there taken, and he was in the right place at the right time. Great recovery.
He bailed himself out there. Man, oh man, his teammates would have been upset with him. It's all well and good. Pulling a few fancy, the ball comes through to him. But that's not good decision-making, and in fact, throughout this game, we've been praising him for exactly that, his decision-making ability.
Look, when it works, we all praise him, but if it had to backfire, I think we would have had another opinion on his goalkeeper skills.
Yakwenela goes down under the challenge of Renan. The referee waves away any protests from the big Italian striker. Oh, Iago is mugged. Davide Drovetti tries to come away with it. Scrappy stuff. Wandru spreads it. Changes the point of attack.
Well, I think Monero need to be more patient in their build-up. They need to circulate the ball better, because if they're going to come up against a defense that's so well organized, to breach that defense, the direct route, that's going to be very difficult.
Wandru. All the way through to Igor. Yakwanela very isolated. Does spot a support player. Rizzo still has the ball. Not bad. Davide Drovetti picks it up and they're maintaining possession pretty well for a team that's a man down. Now this could be trouble. Can't afford to lose it in the midfield like that. Igor. Renan. What will the captain do? Finds Felipe. 16 delivers in a decent looking cross, but the Italian defenders well positioned.
Well positioned, well organized, coordinated. All the good things you want defenders to do is what we see from this Italian defense.
Well, prompted by the linesman, Michael Corza decides that it was a foul by Paolo. Battling away there with Valerio. Much of a muchness in terms of give and take, but had to rule in favor of the defender, I suppose.
Yeah, no, definitely a little bit of hands flailing there from Paolo, yes, and Valerio really been cool and calm in that situation.
Chance to break. Busato, the Argentinian. Spread out wide. Gonella retains it. Despite the strong challenge from Stockel. Plenty of space on the near side. Igor not located. That was a very poor ball. Now, the shot from Rizzo flying once again into the hands of João Vitor. This time the referee decides it's not a handball.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the difference between this and the other one? I think this was more handball than the penalty. So, yeah, referee there getting it completely wrong. Not a spot-on decision.
Not a spot-on decision in the earlier game as well, where we saw Mamelodi Sundowns profit from a penalty that we're still struggling to figure out. Nicely done by Drovetti, laid back to the keeper. He'll have to hurry here. Sold him a little bit short.
Well, at that time, Savini didn't try one of those shimmies. He just cleared the ball. After the last experience, I don't think we're going to see too many of those.
And perhaps just showing their intelligence that, well, he's recognized that they've probably become wise to it. There's only so many times you can do it before the attacker starts to expect that you will do it. And if he can preempt it, then of course it's a chance in on an open goal. João Vitor doesn't look and plays it square across the back line. Luckily for him, Yakwanela not well positioned to pounce upon that one. Ball out to Iago. Now the 17-year-old finds Wandru. Tries to thread it through. Kenan. Once again, Italians come forward. I was going to say come forward on the break, but they're slowing play down even when they do have an opportunity to get forward. Now Paolo chases. Was offside, but what good keeping.
Yeah, look, the assistant was well positioned. Paolo doing all the running up front. That final pass is still eluding them. If they can thread it through. And you mentioned the fact that Torino aren't attacking as quick as they used to, and the reason is simply they don't want to commit too many bodies forward against a team that's very, very direct in their attacking approach.
Now Renan battling away with Samake, who wins in that instance. Now he'll have to turn and give chase. Gets it clear. Chance for a substitution to take place, and finally we are seeing a true attacking change. The last time out it was a like for like, an attacker for an attacker. Now we're seeing a defensive midfielder, in fact the captain, being withdrawn, and replacing him will be João Eduardo. Goalkeeper being told to withdraw. Well, it's stolen a couple of yards there for Rook. And
yeah, look, he's going to look to wind it down.
yeah, referee wants to do things by the book as well. But you would suspect that's a deliberate ploy, right, by the goalkeeper. Oh, I didn't know that's where the free kick's supposed to be taken. He knows full well.
Conveniently.
Yeah. Igor picks it up and plays it in field. Neat looking play. Wandru, very loose touch and zero pressure.
Really impressive defending from Torino. Zonal defending at its best. Well positioned to deal with any eventuality, and there we see time management. I don't want to call it time wasting, time management.
Well, the referee Michael Koza ushering on medical assistance, and well, perhaps just a problem dealing with the heat. Now, as they take final instructions from the coaching staff of Orlando Pirates, the young men belonging to the Buccaneers under-17 team will take on Club Tijuana in the third place playoff. Both sides had eyes on a place in the final. It wasn't to be third place. The bronze will be their consolation. Maybe a bit of a heat exertion.
Yeah, I think the heat is taking its toll on some of the players who aren't used to this type of heat, as well as the fact that they're playing on an artificial pitch, which just increases the heat factor.
I mean, Yaconella has had to play long periods, very, very isolated. So perhaps it's not surprising that it's taken a toll on him. And it must also be said that the Italians, certainly for young men who probably haven't traveled much of the world, this may just possibly be the hottest temperatures they've ever played in.
Yeah, definitely the African sun, the heat factor here, sure, it's something else. You know, in Europe, they don't really experience this type of heat.
The Brazilians, on the other hand, will actually be used to this.
Yeah, but more humid, you know, it's more like KwaZulu-Natal. This type of dry heat is something which I'm sure they'll also need to adapt to.
And it makes breathing quite hard as well. I think we forget that, well, the name is in, well, the clue is in the name. We're on the high veld. It is high. Altitude comes into play. I certainly found that when I first came up to Johannesburg, that I really found it difficult playing football, even just running. Almost feel like you're sucking in nothing when you breathe. As we suspected, Yakwanela has had to be withdrawn. Gives an opportunity for another defender to take to the field. Whipped in, is going straight for goal. Misses out. Time slowly running out, just over 4 minutes remaining, plus whatever additional time the referee sees fit to add. Drovetti. One through. Again, his touch lets him down, but he recovers just in time. I think for Atletico Monero, there's been certain players that they've relied on who just haven't pitched up today.
Yeah, definitely. They haven't really threatened that goal. It's just the one mistake Savini made that almost got them back into the game. But other than that, Atletico Monero haven't really come to the party in this particular game. Torino, men down, show more impetus going forward, well organized, well structured.
Rizzo will attempt to provide an option up front. Moments ago when the ball was hacked clear, there was no one there. Now, what's your thoughts on this? When you're defending a lead and you have less men, obviously bodies are in short supply. Is it better to get everyone behind the ball, or is it sometimes better to have an outlet who can that option if you just want to get it clear? Because of course if you get it clear and there's no one up front, it comes immediately back.
No, definitely, as well as the fact that if you don't have a man up front, you're going to allow the two central defenders to push up, and then you have a situation where you have, in this case, you're going to have 20 players in one half.
Firing in. Right now we do have 20 players in one half. As the ball comes backwards, Stockel just ventures back into his own quadrant, his own half rather.
Yeah, he took a hell of a shot there. What a stop there, and he took the brunt of that shot. Really hit him in the midriff, and he looks like he's in great pain.
Torino still have 3 subs available to them, having only made 2 so far. Bosato and DeCilio having come onto the field. It's been a fiery game, no doubting that. And that is the incident that actually drew the red card for Moroccan Shady Okada, just lashing out. We spoke at half-time perhaps about what was going through the referee's mind. Now, viewers may have noticed the fight or the handbags that were taking place in the middle of the park. Shady Okada heavily involved. So the ref, well, he deemed that to be a red card because he thought, well, that's malicious. He's done that intentionally. He wanted to hurt the man.
Yeah, definitely. You know, retaliation is something referees frown upon. They don't encourage it, and they want to sort of stamp it out. So yeah, Shady was a little guilty of overdoing things.
Spread out here to Iago. One through. João Eduardo. Wow, that's good play. Chance here, perhaps for Il Toro to extend the lead. It's a new man on the park. DeCilio across. Torino have claimed 5th spot. 2 goals for the team with 10 men. What a story this is.
Well, if you look at that particular situation there, look at the distance that he makes up for. I mean, he's running all the way out of defense and then finds himself there, timing his pass, and really Potop did extremely well in ensuring that he didn't play too early. He waited for the right moment between the goalkeeper and the defense. And here we see him making that important pass. And what a finish.
What a finish it was for Rizzo. Has had the taste of scoring already in this competition. Farouk, at the time of that goal, Valerio, who had been injured moments before, was off the field. Torino have scored one goal with 10 men on the park and another with only 9 on the park. What an absolutely brilliant counter that was, an inspired substitution as well. Decilio with the run down the left-hand flank that created it all.
No, you know, it clearly shows the importance of good organization, good tactical awareness, and even though they were men down, they haven't really shown any gaps in that defense.
Ball comes across once again, well defended, Valerio. What a good base those 4 young men form in defense. We're hearing that there will be 4 minutes of added time. And speaking of that added time, Andrea Menghini just attempting to run it down slightly. We'll make 2 substitutions now. Siliberte coming onto the field as well as Mayelo.
Well, I think it's done and dusted. I can't see Atletico Monero coming back.
Well, Rizzo was pushed off of the park by João Vitor. Just wanted them to hurry up with the subs. It's immaterial really, because Fabio Gonella is taking as long as possible come off and be replaced by Thomas Mayelo, and Fabio Gonella will receive a yellow card just for wasting time, just sidling towards the edge of the pitch. Eventually the corner does come in. João Vitor doesn't get a strong connection. Fired back in. Goes in hard, but it's a chance now for the Italians to break. The referee has signaled for them to play on. And Eduardo Siliberte goes down early. That was his first involvement in the game.
Well, we're going to see the tackles flying now. Stockel, they're unnecessarily making a foul there and bringing down the Torino player unnecessarily.
You imagine they would try and take this to the corner if the opportunity presents itself. Once again, Siliberte goes down. This time, João Vitor draws the yellow card. It's raining yellow cards here at the Nike Center. It's going to be raining disappointment in only a few minutes. Atletico Mineiro are destined to lose this 5th place playoff. And losing to 10 men, that's really got to hurt.
Well, the Siliberte is an exciting character. I mean, he just fouled earlier on there. Now again, creating another foul within range.
Speaking of creators, Decilio stands over this free kick, have to contend with a 3-man wall. He's the youngster that created the second goal and fires straight towards the sticks, just over the crossbar.
He's got to hit it left foot, maybe off target, but you could see the trajectory of the ball, the way he struck it.
That's it. Talk about guts. Torino, with 10 men, have come up with the goods. They went down by a man in the first half, and in the second, were able to get 2 goals against Atletico Mineiro. What a brave performance, and to be fair, it's all about their organization, their structure. It was superb, and in fact quite beautiful to watch. Brillante from the Italians. Atletico Mineiro end in 6th place. Not what they would have been hoping for coming into this tournament. 3-time champions. It ends. Il Toro of Italy 2, Atletico Monero of Brazil 0. This is exactly how things shaped up. The counter-attack was blistering. Decilio, fresh legs, had just taken to the field. The cross timed absolutely to perfection. So was the run. Agostino Rizzo puts it in the back of the net. This was the goal that came earlier on. Weren't quite sure whether that warranted a penalty. It didn't matter to Nicola Rauti. Put it in the back of the net to give them the lead initially, and that's the story of how Torino triumphed in this one. To be fair, they were the better team throughout, even with 10 men. Possession ended in their favor. It was a battle that mostly took place in the midfield. And of course, both sides utilizing their wings to a good effect. Atletico Monero outdone in the total attack stakes as well.
And that's how it ends right up between Torino FC and Atletico Monero. It is the Italian side that booked that number 5 spot. Joining me now is Coach Coach Armande of Torino FC. Now I want to find out from Coach as well, booking the number 5 spot, how does he feel?
Chiede cosa pensi del posizionamento in questo torneo, la quinta posizione.
Abbiamo fatto un torneo vincendo 4 partite e pareggiandone una. Non posso essere soddisfatto della quinta posizione, però questo è il calcio, accettiamo il risultato e da domani si lavora.
So he thinks that he cannot be satisfied of the 5th place, but we played a tournament in which we won 4 matches and we drew just 1. So that's a point from which we can start to work tomorrow.
You played the second half, 10 men. What changes did you have to make for that?
Chiede, dato che abbiamo giocato il secondo tempo in 10 uomini, che accorgimenti hai dovuto apportare?
È stata una partita più che andare a proporre il gioco, cercare di difendersi. Sotto l'aspetto tattico ci siamo messi col 4-4-1, abbiamo chiuso la possibilità loro di poter sfruttare la superiorità numerica. In contropiede siamo riusciti a concretizzare. Ecco. Era l'unico modo per vincere la partita.
Obviously the match changed. We had changed the way in which we played. We changed the position of the man. We played with 4 defenders, 4 midfielder and 1 striker, waiting for the Atletico Mineiro, and that was the only one way to play and try to win the match.
Oh, thank you. That is Coach Andrea Mengeni of Torino FC, very satisfied and saying he still has more to say. We can give him a chance to speak.
Volevo solo ringraziare Maurizio Mariano per l'ospitalità che ci ha dato e salutare tutti gli del Sudafrica e dedicare questa vittoria a Maurizio e a tutti gli italiani.
The coach and all the team and all the Torino FC want to thank very much Maurizio Mariano, the president of the Italian here in South Africa, and dedicate the 5th place to him and to all the Italian here in South Africa. They've been wonderful with us.
Oh, thank you, Coach. Coach Andrea Mangini saying he's very satisfied and very happy with the hospitality that he has received in the tournament. I am now joined by Davide of Torino FC. I want to find out from him, booking the number 5 spot. How does he feel?
Come ti senti dopo aver raggiunto la quinta posizione in questo torneo?
No, siamo molto contenti, ci dispiace solo non aver potuto riuscire a disputare la finale del primo e secondo posto. Però comunque abbiamo disputato una buona partita contro un'ottima squadra, non gli abbiamo lasciato spazio e siamo contenti.
As we say the last days, we are a little bit upset because we couldn't play the final for the 1st place. but we are happy how we played yesterday and today, and we are happy about for the fifth place, and also because Atletico Mineiro is a very good team.
Oh, thank you. That is, of course, David of Torino FC saying he's very disappointed that his team could not make it through to the finals. But as the defending champions, they then booked the number 5 spot. I am now joined by coach of Atletico Mineiro. I want to find out from coach as well. Unfortunately, unable to find a win in today's encounter. How does it feel?
Infelizmente, nós não pudemos ganhar hoje. O que você sente a respeito disso?
Primeiro tempo foi um primeiro tempo equilibrado, fizemos um bom jogo no primeiro tempo. No segundo tempo, com um jogador a mais, a gente foi propor o jogo e eles aproveitaram no contra-ataque e hoje eles tiveram mais capacidade para poder vencer o jogo.
In the first half, the game was the same. We were balanced, but we had the advantage of one player. And we couldn't take this advantage in the second half when they had on the defense trying to be fast attacks, counter attacks, and we couldn't find a way to score a goal.
Oh, thank you. Atletico Mineiro then getting onto the number 6 spot. Very, very disappointed with their performance. Don't forget, they're the ones who have actually won more times in the future, in the Gauteng Future Champions Tournament. Don't forget, Atletico Mineiro and Bidvest Wits live on your World of Champions. That's the final that will be coming up right here.
Back at the Nike Center after an enthralling game between the two opponents, Torino and Athletic Mineiro. The men from Italy claiming bragging rights. More bragging rights up for grabs here in the bronze place finish. The fans have come out and have started to come and enjoy not only the good weather here, but also the great football on show today. Did mention they have been treated to a number of goals as well in the last game. Club Brugge against Shandong Luneng. Club Brugge putting Shandong Luneng under the coach there. Doing well to claim a victory for the young kids. Come out and enjoy the football. Of course, Kaizer Chiefs and Sundowns did duty in the early kickoff. But now we are focused in this particular match. A tournament that promised oh so much for Ezemnyama Genkani and Cholos. A fiery, intense encounter against Spain's Athletic Madrid just 24 hours ago. So Orlando Pirates fall just short of having a crack at the title. A 1-0 loss, condemning them to potential France place finish. As the fans look on there, the two teams walk out on the pitch. Well, from the men from Mexico are donning the red kit. Pirates are donning the traditional black and white. Oh, Club Tijuana, well, they got TKO'd by a late Shungu Dutiro finish. Deadly Vets frontman in so doing, bagging his 5th of the tournament and eyeing shooting down Athletic Madrid, of course. In the 1 o'clock kickoff, we bring you a bit later. The two teams just line up there, along with the officials. So, to unpack the story of the man in red, coach Alfonso Mendoza's men have shown that they're made of stern stuff indeed. Starting off in the tournament as an unknown quantity. Well, I can tell you after 4 match days, an open book now. Chapter 1 reads tenacity, 2 fighting spirit. Flipping to chapter 3, you read all about the ability to adapt as the players just get through the pleasantries. A tough nut to crack indeed. Are the men in red, the men from Tijuana. Looking at the 2 starting lineups. Kopano Tunswana in between the sticks, the impressive Tunswana. Mofokeng and the likes of Mazibuko flanking. Kaba and Kobo. Kaba in the midfield, Mbangwa Masinga. In that midfield, Wabopela. Dingy gets an opportunity to move from right wing to form that focal point. Al Foster falls to the bench. James Munyani, it's an opportunity to continue to impress. Ezemnyama Ngenkani, they've showed a lot of tenacity, going toe-to-toe with the likes of Athletic Madrid, eventual finalists. But alas, it wasn't to be for that man, Augusto Palacio and co. You can be spotting my fellow commentator Grant Bissett there in the background, wishing Augusto Palacio well. For Club Tijuana, Gustavo Sato in between the sticks. Sinaras Aguilar Topeto, Sandoval in the back. Sandoval moving interesting from midfield to right back. Camis Velasquez in the midfield. Ramirez, Rosales, Cota, the danger man. D. Lopez, Daniel Lopez forming a focal point for Club Tijuana. That is the man, coach Alfonso Mendoza. Can be proud of his team's progress. They've grown as the team has progressed in the tournament. I did mention as major continental honors at youth level may have come and gone for both teams. Quick glimpse at today's match official, Sipa Mabena, the referee. First official, Elfia Sitole, Katoko Matya, and Michael Koza. Well, the two captains are just finish off the presentees, Amanda Kaba and Luis Aguilar. The Chiefs fans, nice to see that they've stuck around to support their rivals. Doesn't matter, it's all about supporting these young kids. Or to finish off the story, well, it has come on and gone in terms of major honors at youth level. Oh, but these two teams have an opportunity to pen their own ending as the chapter closes on the future champs Gauteng journey. Not alone, I am joined by the hardworking Farouk Khan. We're putting you to work today, sir, but we appreciate your insights. Farouk, Club Tijuana versus Orlando Pirates, what do you expect in this one? Good point there. The referee there. Referee Mabena says, now let's restart. Gents, from left to right. It is the man in red, not Orlando Pirates, but in fact Club Tijuana. Well, Pakachuchu are wearing their traditional all-black strip. Really looking to be on the front foot. Pakachuchu. That man Mtingi! Wow, lucky Mtingi. Almost proving to be an inspired tactical switch from Augusto Palacios. We've seen the 17-year-old predominantly being used as a winger. That instance there, Farouk just battling away, and perhaps that's a winger's finish.
Yeah, no, really got into a good position there. Mdengi did so well, never gave up. And you can see they've made their intentions clear. They want to take the game to Tijuana. They want to impose themselves.
Oh, that's going to be very difficult, having watched a lot of these two teams. Club Tijuana did their game yesterday when they were beaten by Wits. One impressive thing about the men from Mexico is that they're able to just suss out the game and find an appropriate game plan to suit what is necessary to win.
And they have age on their side. If you look at this young team, I think they're using this tournament to prepare themselves for possibly the next future champs come 2017.
Quite true. A lot of the team still 15, 16 years old. You can even see with some of their body structures. Interesting that Club Tijuana has not gone with that man. The dangerous number 15 for them, Ernesto Esperanza. He's absolutely brilliant yesterday against Wits. Tortured the Wits right back, but it's not to be. In his place is Brendan Cotta, the number 14.
Well, he's possibly their trump card. They possibly want to bring him on.
Good point. Now on the front foot, Letabo Mazibuko. Stopped in his tracks now. Give an opportunity to D. Lopez. Spreads it over to Carlos Ramirez. Step over there. But the defender was wise to that little skillful move as James Munyane loses out. Giving an opportunity to the man in red to just eke out an opportunity. Form these triangles that we've seen them so often employ in these games and future champs.
Well, what is very encouraging is the fact that they aren't scared to take risks. They show a lot of confidence, and they make up for their small stature, you know, in ensuring that they are not scared to express themselves.
They're full of tenacity. They may not have size factor on their side, but they're full of tenacity, I tell you. If you watch them, you will see that they're able to just keep on battling and fighting, and through the likes of Daniel Lopez and his namesake Edgar as well, able to just punish teams. That's absolutely out of nowhere.
Well, I think, Temba, what we should encourage is that people should come in their numbers to the Nike Center to support Bidvest Wits, even if it's Chiefs, Sundowns, Pirates, whichever teams. It's a South African team. We want them to make their mark in this competition, not just participate.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Mr. Khan. If the fans come out and just support boys, they've done ever so well in this tournament. Did see in the earlier kickoff, Sundowns and Chiefs to in battle, but in this kickoff is Club Tijuana. We're looking to be on the front foot. Told you about those triangles, Farouk.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, it's a testament to development where you see them play those triangles and then suddenly they play out of the tight spaces. They change the point of attack. They play out of the pressurized areas. Really pleasing to the eye to see the football these young Tijuana boys are exhibiting here this morning.
I liked that little comment you hit me with when we first, I think, did Club Tijuana, and you said to me, this is going to be a team for the future. Watch out for these kids. You even remembered some of their names and faces, and you said, I remember him, he played last year, and this is a team for the future. They're building well. Now they're down there in Mexico. Now trying to Willa Pirates down. The men from Mexico.
Really quality passing game. You look at the quality, their technique, and whoever is working with this particular team, I must say, are doing an excellent job.
That man is shot. Alfonso Mendoza the mentor from Mexico, is done. Sterling work. Now, chance for Lakim Tingi to spread his legs. Watch out for this young man's pace, 17-year-old. Interesting to see that Augusto Palacios has entrusted him with being the striker, the focal point for the team, as Pirates attempted very own triangle breaks down in that instance.
Well, Mdingi from the get-go showed his determination. He's going to never stop running in this match. He will wait until he gets something, and if he doesn't, at least you can't blame him. He's given his best.
Lal Fost, of course, has been the man to front up from a striker perspective, as well as Tunyani, but they're not here today. Likes of James Munyani, Lakim Tingi, Simizo Bopela, the man to look out for in terms of that attacking trident. Nice to see the Chiefs fans are still going, and those 4 men there in shot have been absolutely singing since the morning.
Yeah, they're practicing for the next Kaizer Chiefs game, so they practice, they're warming up.
Oh, they're gonna need all the support they can get, Farouk.
Yeah, no, they need to back the team, especially during these difficult days. It's that 12th man that makes all the difference.
Love to get your thoughts on the impact of the 12th man, so often mentioned by coaches in press conferences. And as the Pirates put in a ball that Tijuana eventually deal with. Oh, spotting space. And the run of a teammate here in the form of that man, Carlos Ramirez, who lays it off, continues his run. Cesar Rosales quickly shut down by Letabo Mazibuko. Good pressure from the man in black. Oh, but nifty footwork from Carlos Ramirez. Well, it was Velasquez, in fact. Oh, spurts an early run for Brendan Cotta.
Did you see that particular foul? Just early on, we saw Rosales losing possession, so intelligent, making a tactical foul, which the referee didn't see. So these boys are matured for their age. They know how to dupe the referee at certain moments.
Ah, the man from Mexico, from Tijuana, lining up a shot. That's why their warning shots fired. Quickly getting back to that point, Farouk, how crucial is it for crowd support, for the home fan base to get behind the team? Is it a mental thing that sort of gives you that extra 20%, 10% perhaps?
Yeah, it gives you a huge advantage, and this is why clubs like Kaizer Chiefs don't play away from home. Wherever they go, they have the 12th man. These people keep on singing. Another team that comes to mind is Bloemfontein Celtic. I mean, I was at the game over the weekend on Sunday, and even though they'd lost, they kept on singing. And you now see them getting a great win over Mamelodi Sundowns, and you can see now the fans are happy. And hopefully Sarami will pick it up from here, because I do think he's been unfortunate. He's done an excellent job, just hasn't fallen for him.
Oh, that win absolutely set the cat amongst the pigeons. We saw that one coming as the man Daniel Lopez tries to sneak in. He was the target of that ball in the back post. Side netting, but there was offside though. Oh, that win for Bloem Celtic midweek absolutely set the cat amongst the pigeons, beating a rampant Mamelodi Sundowns 3-1. Meanwhile, back at Wits Stadium, Wits doing a number on Pirates.
Yeah, and that fantastic run Mamelodi Sundowns had, not losing in what, 21, 22 games almost. But you know, the best of teams in the world go through that. One bad result, I still do think they're a team that can go all the way. But it's nice to see Bidvest making that drive towards the edge, just to keep things interesting.
And then just to touch back about your thoughts on the impact of the 12th man factor. What about teams who can't draw on traditionally having a strong fan base, the likes of Chiefs, the big three, the majority? Where do you draw your inspiration from then?
Yeah, you got to back each other, you got to motivate each other. You look at your bench, you look at your handful of supporters, you know, maybe get a band in there to create some more hype, which we've often seen with the smaller teams. But the bigger teams are always at an advantage, Temba, especially when it comes to these situations. And that's why they have that added advantage.
Nice little turn as the Cesar Lopez makes an option for D. Lopez. Oh, D. Lopez again. He's a danger man. Watch out for him. Pirates won't want to be giving him too much space and time to operate and lift up ahead and pull the trigger.
Well, you know, clearly you've seen that this third place playoff has been contested, you know, especially with the likes of Tijuana creating more chances. 3 chances thus far, and yeah, they're not going to just take it easy. They want to go home at least with a bronze medal.
It's clear in their body language and their tempo that they just want to win this one. Lovely little interplay. James Munyani and Mazibuko. Ball cut off there by Oscar Senaros. Oh, it was the captain, Luis Aguilar. Mazibuko now having Senaros for company. Turns back to the skipper, Sanil Lekaba, who's today playing in midfield. We saw him being used as a centre back in the game against Madrid. I think Pirates are slowly trying to build themselves up, Farouk. Started off with that good chance from Lakim Dingi, and ever since, I think a bit of the edge has been with the man in red.
Well, I think they're starting to play more. You see Pirates keeping the possession better, showing that they can compete with this well-oiled Tijuana team.
They would have to start in such areas by defending well. Carlos Ramirez on that instance, trying to earn his team a corner, but wasn't to be. Nice little invention from Mazibuko. Thought the ball had went out there. Eventually it is spotted.
Well, you know, the entire circumference of the ball must be out. There was still a little bit of possibility that the entire ball didn't go out, but the assistant obviously felt it had.
12 minutes of play on the clock. The Orlando Pirates back at Chuchu. Found the going tough against this. I mentioned this very tough nut to crack. Club Tijuana. Watch out for their ability to just change gears and be efficient in front of goal. And that's the one thing that's caught my attention. You see the man Velasquez battling away in midfield. Ran a lot as well in midfield, been able to close down the likes of Pumlani Masinga.
You know, this young man Ramirez came right to the front here, and you can see he's still a baby. You know, you can see by his facial. Look at the quality of the way they play. Really, I'm impressed with this Mexican outfit.
Venisile Mbangwa spotting the pacey Lakim Tingi. Falls to the ground, and referee Sipho Mabena deems it a foul. Tingi, Mr. Khan, I see, looks like he's the man who's going to be the danger man, stretching that Tijuana defense.
Yeah, no, he's been cropping up on the left, on the right, in the middle. He basically has a free role in the system that Augusto has created for them, this 4-3-3 system. He drops deep, he shows up from deep positions, and if anybody can unlock that well-organized Tijuana defense, it's that man, Mdingi.
So there that referee Mapena just having a little word with Noah Topete, the centre back for Club Tijuana. As Pumlani Masinga lines up a cross, didn't beat the first man in the front post. I think that always gets to me, that you have an opportunity to put the ball in and you never beat the first man in the front post. Give the defense something to at least worry about. James Munyani there looked like he had been taken down as Mazibuko neatly ships the ball and looks to put in a good ball of quality. 2 Pirates players on rushing on that one. Lakim Tingi, Simiso Bopela. Tijuana defender did just enough. Just get up, header in, and there was a snapshot there.
Well, both Mdingi and Bopela did well to get on the end of that cross. Yeah, you can see that they're going to start looking to create some shots. And earlier you mentioned an important thing about set pieces. The important thing is always to try and give the opposition something to do. If you just kick it long and high, they're quite comfortable with that.
That's the keeper. Impressive. Kopano Tuntswane. And Orlando Pirates in the last 10 minutes have a stronghold on possession. But truth be told, it created too many problems in the backline for Club Tijuana. In fact, it's been the man in red with less possession overall. They've been able to just look like the likeliest to get on the score sheet first. Oh, an opportunity there! There's a man, T. Lopez! Spoke about it. Spoke about it. Club Tijuana just have this knack, Farouk. I don't know if it is coached into them or it's just the makeup of the team. They have an ability to just pull off moments just like that. Being in the right place, being in the right time. T. Lopez, boy oh boy, he can sniff out a chance.
No, he did well, forced the keeper there to stretch. Soto had no chance, used his feet well. But just before that, what I saw there was the fact that beautiful build-up, good technique, good passing, waiting to play the ball wide at the right and opportune time, and then that hard, well-driven shot towards Soto, who he is unable to deal with, and the follow-up, player right there. So everything that you want from an attacking build-up was evident.
With that, T. Lopez gets his third of the tournament. Lovely piece of kill. Cesar Rosales looking to pile more misery on the Pakachuchu. I've been mentioning it, Farouk. I had the pleasure of seeing this Club Tijuana team over several match days, and they just have this knack of looking like as if they're not really doing anything. And a pass there, a pass here, back of the neck. Next thing you know, you're back at the halfway center. Now Rosales looking for the far post. Tuntswane had to come out and get a hand there because there was somebody lurking. Brendan Cotter seemed to have injured himself in the process, but yeah, the man looks like he's in a bit of pain.
Yeah, he got a touch to it. He felt awkwardly. I think there wasn't much contact. He fell awkwardly, and you could see him going over. But, you know, we again see this Tijuana team able to do everything in a planned fashion. You see the way they build up. You see that diagonal ball being played. It seems like they actually drill these patterns, if you want to call it. And really impressive stuff. I'd like to see this team next year. I think they're going to be a team to watch. Even in this tournament, Temba, they were one of the most outstanding ball-playing teams I've seen.
And you would know a thing or two about team organization and spotting that little extra something. Augusto Palacios deep in conversation with one of his backroom staff members there. Perhaps just inquiring about the fitness of Kopano Tuntswane. It would be a shame if the young man cannot continue. He's been outstanding. One of the star players for the 5 skippers in this under-17 tournament. There was that goal again coming through. Raul Sandoval providing the drive, and boy oh boy, Daniel Lopez along with his other Brian Daniel Lopez, they've been the main key ingredient. Double the Lopez serving up a hot spicy dish of enthusiasm and ability to bounce back from Mexico with love, I must say.
My brother, it seems that you're a little bit hungry, on the hungry side. Speaking about spiced dishes, Temba. What did you have for breakfast?
Nothing but a fruit salad, Farouk. I was told I need to diet a bit more.
Ah, you look in good shape.
You flatter me. It just has an absolute laugh in the background. Now Orlando Pirates on the front foot, Lakim Dingy with a neat looking turn. He twists again, perhaps twisted into problems, but he says no. Still was able to find James Munyani. Great play, Lakim Dingy. He twisted one way, twisted the other, and thrust forward and put a good looking ball to James Munyani, whose first touch just allowed that man Noito Pote to get a foot in.
3 in the making.
D. Lopez now, the focal point, switching. A pass to Cesar Rosales, who does well to pass it off to Sandoval.
Did you notice that but every time they lose the ball, these Tijuana players immediately pressurize the ball? And that's something we can benefit from. Instead of dropping off, pressurize the ball, buy time for your teammates, and get organized, and it makes things so much more difficult for the opposition.
I think perhaps Pirates could take a book out of the man from Mexico. Twisted and turned. Was that man Brandon Corta? In the end, the player did well to get back and battle along with him.
Wonderful talent, this Brandon Corta. Shielded the ball, used his body so effectively. Really a good exhibition of how to dribble and maintain possession.
That was not a good example how to dribble and maintain possession, but nonetheless, Supima Pena helps Pirates out there. James Munyane had to come very deep to get the ball. Nice little fake there from Pumlani Masinga with a bit of his own Kasi flavor. Itiski, as we call it here, Mzansi.
Well, Gamis there really guilty of making a tactical foul, but he realized that both himself as well as Velasquez were out of the middle, and Pirates were going to benefit from that.
Both teams have kept it clean, really. Haven't given Sipuma Pena too much really to worry about or come down hard on. But 5 minutes or remaining off the first half. Club Tijuana still leading. Pirates still looking to get back in this game. Look most likely through the number 11, Lakim Dingi. James Munyane, who's scored a couple in this tournament. Seems like he's already on holiday today. He hasn't come to the party as yet. Simiso Bopel, apart from that one shot, he hit over the crossbar, hasn't added much either. Ooh, that could be quite a difficult one for Tumswane to handle. Does well to just get any sort of contact away from the danger area, because there were two players converging on him. D. Lopez, ever so calm and composed, does ever so well to link other players as a result of his play, his link-up play. Rosales there was able to try get a ball in, but great block.
No, Ngobo made an excellent block there, and obviously that is an important block that is made, giving away a corner.
It's mentioning that, as we see the corner stats, Pirates yet to get a corner in this game. The number 10, the goal scorer for today, Daniel Lopez, does so well to come deep and always back to goal, to just give an opportunity to his players, trying to be on the front foot. Lakim Ting, you twist one way, twist the other. Perhaps he just closed down the angle for himself. Why didn't he shoot with his left foot? He did so well to open up that angle for himself.
Now he did extremely well, a 2 versus 1 situation, but there was an option. Munyane was well positioned, could have laid it back and maybe given them a clearer chance at goal.
With that, opportunity for Pirates to get ball of quality in with their first corner of the game. Give it to Letabo Mazibuko, the left back. Swings it in. Keeper Gustavo Soto, strong and powerful with his punch. Nearly fell fortuitously. That man Munyane, who throws his head in disappointment.
Well, Munyane allowing the ball to bounce. He was in a position to attack it before it bounced, and the possession opportunity was lost.
I think Farouk, just quickly thinking back, my memory banks up. Pirates have scored from a corner in this tournament. Something that perhaps to work on. Augusto Palascio and his backroom staff.
Well, if you look at international trends and statistics, at least 25 to 40% of goals are scored from set play. So you'd be foolish not to practice set play at least a couple of times every week.
That's a very interesting stat. Thank you for that little tidbit. And Cesar Rosales as well. He's been good battling away the likes of Nchabulo Kobo, no Amanda Kaba. This far, looks like Carlos Ramirez just limping slightly there. They've taken a knock. As Rosales did well to turn and try to get across him. Mazibuko eventually gets his left boot to it. As Mbangwa tries to find Popela, loses out. We've seen this quite often from the man in red, being able to win that midfield battle as D. Lopez twists and turns, does well to beat one, beat two, key possession for his team. Well, Cesar Rosales as well had to stretch a leg to keep possession. Nonetheless, from D. Lopez's hard work, they were able to get a shot in from Brendan Cotter. One of the Club 200 players seems to have taken a knock there.
Well, Gomez there made an important tackle. He was stretching a little, possibly hurt himself in the process.
Looks like Louis Gomez there. Young man looks like he's really taking strife. See, Alfonso Mendoza perhaps already he's made up his mind. Angel Espinoza, by the looks of it, the man possibly to replace him. Yep, looks like Luis Gomez. Or perhaps a thigh problem there. In the meantime, Pirates as well have a few players on the floor. I think it's more the heat in terms of the boots. That's how hot it is. That AstroTurf does heat up as the day goes on.
Well, it looks like the referee had blown for half-time. We are at the 30-minute mark.
And that is what we've all been waiting for. Le finale. Athletic Madrid versus Bidvest Wits. Young boys, the clever boys looking to mastermind a historic win. A first win for a local team. One of the future champs, Gauteng. That's at 1 o'clock to join us for that one. Sparks are bound to fly, trust me. Two teams just took a quick water break by the looks of it. Wonder how that's gonna impact referee's optional time. Some of the Pirates players still putting on back their boots after throwing in some water in those hot boots. The faithful are still here, still looking on, supporting Pagachuchu.
Well, it's quite funny. There was a minute left and the referee called a water break. Possibly he's going to give him a couple more seconds and blow it.
It's an interesting one there from Sipho Mapena. We have some spicy decisions here today, if I can call them that. Especially in the game that we did earlier, Farouk, the Sundowns and the Chiefs game.
Yeah, I know some. He's had a good spell, but just a few decisions, a little bit of a question mark in them.
Just a little one. Nonetheless, back to live play. After that drinks break from Sipho Mapena. And that is it. Mr. Mapena calls it quits for the first half. Sane Lekaba stride and twirled with his team. The likes of Popela and shot there have just been outdone by the hard-working and hard running of the man from Club Tijuana, that man, Cesar Rosales. D. Lopez has been the difference in the 16-minute, pouncing for his third of the tournament. London Pirates trailing to Club Tijuana at half-time.
It's a Mexican side, rather, Club Tijuana, who leading at the thanks to a goal from Daniel Lopez. What will we see in the second half? South African side Orlando Pirates are still in high form and we're hoping to see some goals from them in the second half. Don't forget that they're playing for the third and fourth position at SuperSport TV, #SS Football. That's how you guys can interact with us. After this, we'll take a look at the first 30 minutes of this encounter and also talk to Bafana Bafana coach Shakes Mashaba.